This silence thing is really weird every time.
No, Jeff! I said sugar-free Red Bull! I'm going to a gay club tonight! Sugar-free Red Bull, Jeff!
What?
Damn it! That intern you sent to my house, he's not working out, bro.
That's not an intern, bro. That was a gift.
You got me a slave?
No, I got you your secret low-level gay work person you wanted.
Okay, all right.
Is that cool?
Off to a great start. Welcome to the Popcast, everybody. My name is Brian. That is Shane. He's back from his long 2-week trek, his adventure. And just to be as upfront as possible, I have been up now for 36 hours. I'm a little delirious. I just realized Jeff is not a person, but it's a dog. And I'm sorry about that. But listen, we got a great show for you today. Okay, my jokes aren't going to be on point. I might be a little irritable with Shane today, and you can tell. But you know what? We're going to have a really good time, and even more so because right before the live show, for the first time ever, we launched our big video for the week. So that's going to be interesting.
That's never happened before.
No.
This is like a total first. Like you've literally, I think the last time you slept was 2 days ago.
2 days ago. Yeah, here's the deal. We normally release on Saturday mornings, but we really wanted to try to release it today because the video is about something going on tomorrow, and don't know if that was necessarily a great idea, but you know what? We're here. We're doing it. Going strong. Let me get some Red Bull real quick. You talk, Shane.
Yeah, you're going to need Red Bull. I honestly don't think. I mean, it was weird. We have our Friday live show planned every 10 o'clock every Friday. And this morning, Brian hits me up and says, I think we're going to be a little delayed. And I said, well, okay, no problem. Because we wanted to do both things. Lesson learned, we likely will never do this again. But so so after you finish watching the show here, and today we have a really great show for you. We have Lawrence K from the Companion app as our special guest. Yeah. He'll be on with us later. He and his crew, the guys there, Nick and Ben, they're the ones who are actually doing this Stargate AI thing that we've been talking about. This impromptu table read that Brad Wright, the creator of Stargate, co-creator of Stargate, decided he wanted to do, and we're going to get into that later. So check that out, and then check out our video because we just launched that on the other channel on the Popcast. So I've stopped calling it Popcast Prime, Brian, because I think we're confusing people. So we're now calling it the Popcast channel and the Popcast Unleashed channel, just so that people don't get confused, like me.
All
right.
We're referring to the main channel called the Popcast. This is called The Popcast Unleashed or The Popcast Live. It depends on what link you're going to. So yes, our main channel, our number one, our first love is The Popcast. Okay.
Right. Unfortunately, people were saying, typing in Popcast Prime and like, hey, I don't know where Popcast Prime is. So they didn't.
Oh. My bad.
It's all good.
So let's talk about what we're talking about today. First off, we're going to be talking about Shane's long trek to the Nethers. Also talking about Tom Hanks basically walked up to Jeff Bezos, looked him in his face and said, no. That's a very salacious. I'm not sure if that's
really salacious. Yeah.
Black Adam, like the Dark Knight, will have an extremely high kill count. And we hope, I remember when I heard about it, I said, I hope it has a high body count. The armorer from the Rust set, the whole Alec Baldwin shot someone. That whole story. There's an update on that.
Like Alan Baldwin shot someone?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know. What do you say? Allegedly shot someone?
No, he literally shot someone, but whether it was an accidentally or it's definitely not on purpose either. Now, is he going to be held accountable? Ooh, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe
after what you learned today, you will think so.
Maybe he thought it was a paparazzi. I don't know.
Paparazzi. Okay.
Also, you can't beat Disney, boys and girls. Workers lost the case. And Robert Downey Jr. and Matt Damon in Nolan Oppenheimer. I don't know what any of those words mean.
Nolan's Oppenheimer movie, the movie coming out that he's making.
Okay.
He just added RDJ and Matt Damon, dude. This is going to be cool.
I want you to know, Shane, that your internet connection is really crappy right now.
Yeah, I don't seem to have any control over it. I may have to leave the live show. Let's see if that helps.
You just turn your camera off for a minute. You can just turn your camera off and let your audio come through, and then when it stabilizes. Anyways, and we're going to have our special guest on, Lawrence Ko with the Companion app. And they're the people doing the Stargate AI thing. That is all happening in the first half of this show. But on the members side of the show, and real quick, then we're going to get into it. On the members side of the show, it's when we leave the public and go to the private members section, we are talking about a third Dune movie, Star Trek Prodigy Discovery Mistakes. Matrix might have Weaving and Fishborn cameos. I don't know. That's. I feel like that. I feel like I'm being punked. And Taiki Waititi is doing a new sci-fi movie, and apparently the movie Red Notice that I'm super excited about is a colossal bomb, but take that with a grain of salt because the source is pretty sus. Okay.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about that. Rotten Tomatoes also has it jacked, but we'll see.
Yeah. All right. So listen, that's what we're going to talk about. So what we're going to talk about at first, before Shane talks about his trip, I'm gonna help you with your internet connection here.
Well, okay? I killed a bunch of stuff. So I had like Dropbox running and so I killed that. I think, is it better? Do I seem like I'm coming through better?
Your audio sounds a little better. Your video is a little meh.
I don't know.
Great. So, I mean, dude, you gotta stop downloading so many torrents during the live show, bro.
I don't even know what a torrent is, but thank you.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Okay. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, maybe I can drop your video and you can just talk. Is talk real quick?
Stopped my video. Yes, I know people will no longer see me. Okay.
Okay, temporarily. Let's just see if it stabilizes. Then we'll put you back. Can you? Because I want your audio. Your audio is more important right now than your video.
I mean, I would argue that all the time.
That's pretty fine. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, man. Let's talk about your trip, dude. What happened?
Oh my gosh, I got to tell you, first off, it was totally unexpected. So we didn't get to really share with everybody. I think we did. So the plan was for me to go across the country and pick up some gear that we can utilize to make our show better. Obviously, hopefully there's some internet connection or something in there that will help make everything better here. But so Brian and I were talking about it and decided, okay, is it worth the investment to go get this stuff? We said, boom, let's do it. That happened on a Thursday. I had to be in North Carolina by Tuesday. And so I ended up leaving Thursday night and going. In the end, this entire trip went to North Carolina and back.
Okay.
I ended up gone. It was 6,400 miles. So 6,400 miles is equivalent to, get this, driving your car from Los Angeles all the way across the Pacific Ocean to China. Okay, that's how far that trip was. It's also equivalent to going 1/4 of the way around the planet. So that's how long. It took me 2 weeks. And it was a lot of fun.
Okay. So we were tracking your progress. I'm putting your face right here. So
it's really weird, dude.
Looks like I'm talking to you.
Why does my face always have to have one that looks like it's like
I mean, we can get a different face here. I have a bit. Here. You want
the mouth on that thing. I've always hated
How about you want an angry face? I can give you an angry face.
How about just like a normal face? Not what face is this? Is that surprise face?
How about this one? I'm angry. I'm angry. My camera's not working.
My kids would say that's my face, actually.
Brian, Where's the damn video, Brian? I will not tell you again that you are making me late, Brian. Get your Red Bull. Okay.
Is that what I sound like? Thank you.
No.
Oh, but let me tell you what was awesome about the trip, bro. So what was cool about this trip, the impromptu thing about it was I didn't realize how much fun it was going to be to document the trip. So I actually documented the trip and posted every day to the member section. And so I was sending the members pictures, updating on where I was, and it became this whole like, where's Waldo? Where's Shane at in the United States? And in fact, some of our people were like literally driving truck in some of those areas, and I just barely missed them.
That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah. A couple people on my Steam Discord were tracking your progress. It's pretty awesome.
That's cool. Oh, something bad did happen though on the way out there. When I was, we got into New Mexico, totally dark. I'm driving along, I'm doing 85 miles an hour. And all of a sudden out of the corner of my right eye comes this gray blur, and it comes into focus just as I realized.
Oh my God, you hit a homeless man.
Gray blur. I could be an old homeless man.
Why would you be admitting that on stream, Shane?
But it wasn't. It was it was a coyote or a wolf maybe, but it was big. It was really big.
Must have been a wolf. Wolves are big.
It was bigger than I expected, and it totally jacked up the front of my car, almost to the point of I couldn't almost thought I wasn't going to be able to go the rest of the trip and drive.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I don't know if it's cool with this, but like, so we were getting equipment actually for our studio here, and it's like half the equipment is like in like multiple pieces right now. Because
one thing is in pieces, one item. Yeah.
Okay.
But that had nothing to do. I didn't have the trailer yet.
Oh, I figured that had something to do with the wolf, man.
No. No, I think it had something to do with
driving 6,000 miles.
Driving. Well, it was in the back of I was pulling it in my car for like 3,200 miles, and apparently the pallet moved, which released the tie down that was holding it, or loosened it enough so that when I hit a couple of big enough potholes, it kind of damaged one of the pieces. So
here's your face. This damn wolf jumped in front of my truck. I can't do it.
It did. I'm telling you, it's done so much damage, bro. This is like, I'm telling you, it's like $6,000, $7,000 worth of damage to my car.
Oh my God. No. Oh, what a bummer.
Yeah.
So does insurance even cover that?
It does. I got lucky because I have pretty decent insurance, and
like, I'm sorry, sir, you don't have wolf insurance.
You'll have wolf insurance. It's going to cost like $1,000 out of my pocket, which I will charge to you. So.
Wait a minute. You know what's funny is I have insurance, so I'm pretty sure that if I told them I hit a wolf and it did a bunch of damage to my car, they'd be like, "Yeah, we don't cover wolves. We only cover small prey animals.
We don't use real money. We're insurance.
Yeah,
so only money."
Bro, when I put ice on my dashboard once, and like the temperature change just wrecked my windshield. Right, there's a giant crack in it. So I'm like, I'm not gonna call it, insurance. I'm not getting to file a claim because I have a really low deductible, right? Like stupid low, and I pay for that really low deductible because, you know me, I never have money. So if I get in a wreck, I want that lowest deductible possible. And dude, I tried to make a claim. They're like, okay, yeah, well, the claim is gonna cost $500, and then you also have to pay the repair people a deposit of $300, and then it's $150 for them to drive out to you. I'm like, yo, wait a minute, hold up. So a new windshield's gonna cost $1,000?
Yeah.
Right. Well, so I went and looked it up. I can pay the same people they're paying $500.
Right. Well, that's why you're paying for insurance, so you can just pay a little more.
It makes no sense, dude.
Well, they all jack up the prices. But anyway, so let me just a little more about this trip because there's a couple of highlights that I didn't get to share with you.
Oh, okay.
That were really good. So we went across. We ended up doing California, Arizona, New Mexico. Dropped the kids off in Colorado where my parents are. Luckily, because taking them the full 2 weeks probably would have killed all four of us in the car. Dropped them off with my mom. Kept going. We did Oklahoma City. And then strolled into Memphis. Memphis, by the way, is cool. If you've never been down to Beale Street, it's a pretty cool experience, really great barbecue. But the amazing thing was we went to Graceland.
Oh.
Okay. We went to Graceland. I've been to Memphis multiple times, never been to Graceland because I really honestly didn't care.
It's on my bucket list, by the way, going to Graceland.
Well, that's cool. I mean, so my wife wanted to go and I said, well, okay, let's go. So we went there. I'm looking for Elvis's house. I'm like, okay, it's like a mansion from the 60s, whatever. Well, it'll be a cool thing to go check out really quick. I pull up, man. I swear, I feel like I just got to like Disneyland and California Adventures or something. Like I pull up and it's a huge, ginormous thing. It's like this giant entrance. It says Graceland. There's these humongous gates. There is parking, which costs $10. Yes. And a parking lot that I would say rival Disneyland's original parking lot.
So it's a theme park.
Well, sort of. There's no rides yet, but I'm sure it's coming. But there are like 17 museums there, and Disney even has their own like store there now, like a Disney store.
Oh, wow.
But it was a really cool experience. But when I got there, I'm like, this is ridiculous. There's buses driving people places. It was unbelievable.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I'm actually planning, excuse me.
Normally you could leave and come to me while you do that. But
yeah, I can't do that right now. Yeah, I'm actually planning a trip next year for when my kids get out of school for the summer next year. This is my plan. I'm not sure how it's gonna work out, okay? But This is the loose plan right now that I've been mulling over and researching. I want to take my kids on I don't want to say cross country because that's not what it is, but I want to take them on a trek to visit a bunch of those smaller theme parks. The ones that don't have like the safety regulations yet. They're real authentic theme parks.
Don't have the safety regulations.
I mean, that's just an example, but like they have better rides.
Die.
They have better rides. They're usually more affordable. Basically, think about like the Knott's Berry Farms of the theme parks out there. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
Like if you've gone to Disneyland, and then you've got Knott's Berry Farm, you will realize that Disneyland is now lacking something that Knott's has, and I'll tell you what it is. Ready?
Cost.
A cost, and authenticity.
Oh,
Disneyland. Everywhere you look, every person you speak to, every door you open, every water bottle you drink, whatever, everything is so fake and corporate, and it feels that way. Maybe I've gone one too many times, but everything just feels like one big corporate production, and it takes all the fun out of a theme park. Here's how it works. Like, I'm not going to pay exorbitant amounts of money to go on 5 sort of crappy rides that I've already been on 400 times during the entire day, because that's what it's going to take. You're going to sit in line for 2 hours each ride. You're basically just paying to go wait in line at this big giant corporate mega mall. And I'm like, and everything costs more. But then you go to Knott's, not the case. I mean, you can hit like 15 rides on a casual walkthrough. You can have
that's
you can have barbecue, tri-tip, and
right.
hot dogs, and you're talking to real people, and they have real jobs. And
but Knott's Berry Farm is competing with multiple. I mean, you got Disneyland, you've got Universal Studios, it's right in between a whole bunch of things. So they're competing with lots of people, and also,
but they still feel like a smaller authentic. I know they're not, but it feels like a smaller authentic park. And I want to. There's a bunch of parks like that, like Dolly World.
Dollywood. I've been there. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that what am I in the right ballpark here? Like that?
Yeah, but it's got like 4 rides or something. So it's like it's small. I mean,
it's cheap.
Well, let me finish the rest of my little thing because I do have.
Sorry for getting you off track.
No. I just want to get through this so that way I can put this behind me because I don't ever want to drive again. But on the way back, we went through New Orleans, and this is the part of the story that gets really, really interesting. We go to New Orleans and we decide, listen, we've got to try. They have these things called beignets, which is a donut.
Oh yes, I know them well.
From Cafe Du Monde. And we had to, I said to my wife, I'm like, you got to try this. She'd never been to New Orleans before. So we go to get in line, and there's this guy standing there with a cat on a leash. The cat's on a leash. And she's like, oh, look at that adorable cat on the leash. And of course, my daughter has a cat. And so she wanted to take a picture and send it to my daughter. So she goes over and she, starts talking to the cat a little bit and pulls out her camera to take a picture.
Right.
And at first the guy was being nice, but then he just all of a sudden flipped.
Oh no.
Started freaking out on you took a picture. I mean, just started losing it on my wife. I was in line. I didn't even see this.
Right.
She comes hightailing it over and hides behind me. And this guy who now I've looked at fully, I realize is a homeless person with definite mental issues, big time, right?
Right.
Could have been the first sign that his cat was on a leash. Might have been the first sign there was an issue.
So you pummeled him to death.
No, because I knew that if I pummeled him to death, that I was the only person with anything to lose in this situation. I knew that the last case scenario was to beat this man to a pulp, because if that were going to happen, then I was going to jail for sure. And he was going to jail and then getting right back out on the streets where he came from.
So you out crazy him. You're like, listen, man, you start taking your clothes off. I will give you fellatio right now. Let's do this. The guy's like, whoa, dude.
Why does it always go to fellatio?
He snaps out of it real quick. He's like, yo, what am I doing with my
life? So the guy,
why is the cat on a fucking leash?
Right. Well, he's having this. He started having a conversation with himself while pointing at us. Now, the worst part about this is we were in a line. If you've been to Cafe Du Monde, there's always a line of a lot of people. And so this guy, he starts to get more emboldened, and he's working himself up. I'm like, don't look at him, don't talk to him, just ignore him, blah, blah, blah. Well, he finally works up the courage to basically get in front of my face. And it's at this moment, I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to have to lose everything that I've gained in my life up to this point. Because he's not, and I told him to back off, right? And I gave him the Shane look. I gave him if you don't back off, I'm going to rip your head off right now.
Hey, man, get your cat.
Yes.
And get the fuck out of here. Okay.
Something to that effect.
I will give you a reach around right now if you don't get out of here.
That's not the sexual stuff. Okay.
No, I didn't mean reach around. Yeah. I gotta
go. No, but in all seriousness,
I'm having too much fun with this thing, by the way.
Yeah, well, you're gonna have to go back to my face here in a minute because it's driving me crazy. I don't like looking at myself angry. It's a reminder. So finally, let me finish this story. So finally, I'm like, look at man, my wife was complimenting you by taking a picture of your cat. She likes your cat. And something must have clicked with him. And he just his face kind of changed. He did his, he flipped on his he was probably bipolar anyways.
Right.
And he kind of flipped and he come back and he goes, look, man, all I want you to do is give my cat some milk. Can you just do that? I'm like, what just happened? I'm like, sure, man, I'll give your cat some milk. And he's like, thank you, appreciate it. Thank you guys. And it was just a total crazy thing. Everybody's looking at us in line. My wife's all embarrassed. And the guy ends up leaving happy. And we got his cat some milk. And that was a crazy, crazy moment, though. I thought for sure I was going to jail. So
I just realized I can animate you. Like, hey man, get out of here. We don't want no trouble. Hey, I just wanted some milk for my cat. Oh, what? Milk for your cat?
That's
man. And $10. Whoa, get out of here. No $10 for you.
That's great. That's good. All right, put my face back on.
Let me see if it works.
It should work.
All right.
I mean, literally, my computer only has like a Google screen up, and that's it. Let's see. Oh wait, now look, there I am.
It's not great. However, it's a lot better with the cartoon image right there. You put the cartoon image over your face, bro.
I think it's an excuse, is what. hey, you damn kids, get off my lawn.
Whoa, what's going on over there?
Where'd you kids come from? Why do you have a gun? What's going on?
Oh no. Oh my God.
Oh,
this is awesome. I love this so much. All right, I'm going to stop because I'm
glad somebody's having fun.
Can't focus. Okay.
So I'm home. The trip is over. It was great. And by the way, when you were doing the show, which you did a great job doing the show with our guests and you like kept it going.
I did not do a good job.
You did a good job. And I'll tell you what, in the car, I found myself watching and going, no, and like arguing with you in the car, right? To the point where my wife was like, Shane, you are not on the show right now. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
When I was mispronouncing names.
Right? Or I'm like, no, I'm not going to say stop.
So I don't have Shane here to tell me how to pronounce things. So I literally went to pronounce.org.
You're like this. And yesterday, Mikey Mouse went to the
Okay, man.
Yeah, good.
We're gonna talk about Tom Hanks and Jeff Bezos.
All right, let's move the show along.
Yeah,
boy. You're on the live show. If you're here watching, can you please give the video a thumbs up right now? It sends a signal to YouTube to have them actually make our video available to more people. They see that other people watching it and liking it. So if you could do that now, I would really appreciate it. And if you're not a subscriber, subscribe.
Yeah, especially considering that I don't know what's going on, but like it's weird that very few people watch our live shows live. Plenty of them watch it after the fact, but not during the show. It's very weird.
I don't think many people get it. You know, it's getting the notice that it's even live is weird. I think that we're being hampered right now. So that's why, you know, we want people to subscribe, get us to 1,000 subscribers so we can, get ourselves in a situation to monetize and pay for all this new gear that I just went and picked up.
Yeah. Plus, Shane's got to pay for that homeless guy's hospital bills. Oh wait, yeah, I was going to say that. My bad. Oh damn.
Yeah, no, I would have had to pay for the homeless guy's hospital bills, and it would have been bad. The cat, man, the cat was cute.
That's adorable. Okay, let's stop talking about the damn cat and let's start talking about other homeless people. Tom Hanks and Jeff Bezos.
Who's homeless here?
The opposite of homeless.
The opposite of homeless.
They have more homes than I'll ever own.
This whole story is hilarious to me because apparently, so what happened was, Tom Hanks was on Jimmy Kimmel, and he's talking about one of the new movies he's doing. But in between this whole discussion, it comes up that Jimmy Kimmel's like, "Hey, didn't Jeff Bezos like offer to take you to space before he asked William Shatner to go?" And this is a story I hadn't heard. And apparently that is what happened. And Tom Hanks said, yeah, but he wanted me to pay for it. So the $28 million space flight, I guess that's what it was. The going rate was.
There's no way Shatner paid that. No way.
I don't know. There's no way. No, when he's taking like $100 for an autograph at every place he can, he definitely didn't. Well, I think what happened was, in my opinion, Jeff Bezos tried to get a bunch of people to pay the $28 million to go up into space and just like ran out of people willing to pay $28 million to go up for the 12 minutes that they're up there.
And he went with like the best option, the meme option.
He went with his childhood
right.
Hero, who is William Shatner, Captain Kirk. So what was funny about this is Tom Hanks is kind of going through the whole thing, and he said, I ain't paying $28 million to go to space. He goes, I can do it right here. And he goes through this entire thing where he actually like lays back and he pretends he's like launching for like 4 minutes. And then he pretends he's weightless for like 8 minutes. And then he's like, and then we're back in the seat doing this again for 4 minutes.
Awesome.
Right. It was very funny. It was actually pretty hilarious. But what's more funny is they talk about, he said, Jimmy, I'm doing good, but I'm not doing that good. I'm not paying $28 million to go to space.
Right.
And what's interesting is I have confirmed, reports say that even though he didn't want to pay $28 million to go to space, Tom Hanks is among the list of celebrities who've reserved tickets at a cost of $250,000 to go into space with Virgin Galactic, Richard Branson's commercial space liner.
So Virgin Galactic is charging a tenth of what Jeff Bezos is charging.
Well, yeah, but they're charging it now. They're not actually going. So what it is like they're getting this list. There's like 600 people from 58 countries who've reserved tickets to go up with Virgin Galactic at $250,000 a ticket.
Wow.
Yeah, some of those people include let's see, I got a whole list of them here. Let's see. Who is it? Oh, I lost my list. Let's see, roughly 600 people. Oh, other celebrities: Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie. Well, that's got to be awkward now. Russell Brand, who's now making more money on YouTube than he ever did as an actor.
I'm loving Russell Brand right now. He's hilarious. He's hot takes. Anyways, go ahead. Sorry.
It's nice that somebody is just being reasonable out there. So
he's so reasonable. And how is it? I'm sorry. Side note. Sorry. I know. Quick side note, guys. How is it that the guy who took his clothes off on stage after getting paid $1 million to do that Get Him in the Greek movie on the red carpet, I mean, serious addiction problems, close to mental issues. The guy was an absolute disaster, right? Get some self-help, start doing some meditation, and now is probably the most reasonable celebrity I've ever heard speak.
Yeah, well, Russell, I mean, he's got one of those weird comic timing things. Like, he's actually very interesting.
He's also very funny, yeah.
Very funny. And there's this borderline. There is a very thin border between genius and crazy, and I think he's one of those guys that kind of sits in that range. So
right.
Katy,
sorry for the side note. Go ahead.
No worries. Katy Perry and Justin Bieber, I guess, are also on the list. So what I'm trying to say is, Tom Hanks, it's not like, hey, it's ridiculous to spend a whole bunch of money to go into space, a la Tom Hanks. Apparently $250,000 is plenty of money to go up and do this little space flight. What would you pay, Brian, to go up into space?
$0.
Zero.
Yeah, it's not even real space.
I mean, I'd throw $1,000 at it. No, you wouldn't do it? I mean, it is real space. You actually go into space. You get to see the thin blue line, right?
Yeah.
No, you can.
I'm good, Holmes.
What if you go to the space station?
That's different.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's different. If you're talking about going to the space station, that's real space. I mean, I guess it's technically real space, but it's like upper atmosphere or whatever. I'm good.
All right.
I mean, and maybe my mind changes if I had $20 million in the bank.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure it does.
Maybe just for funsies on a weekend trip. Hey guys, want to go in space real quick? It's only going to cost 20 minutes. Yes, but as someone who can use $1,000, I'm good. I'm good. Unless you're taking me up to space and flying me somewhere I actually want to go, I might pay the extra money for, like, oh, it's extra $1,000. Oh, you're going to Cancun? It's an extra $1,000 and we go upper atmosphere for 15 minutes. I'm like, maybe if
right.
it's if it's actually like getting me somewhere I really want to go, I might do that.
So there's still time, knowing that William Shatner can go at 90. There's still time for us. It could happen.
Yeah, I'm not going to be as healthy as William Shatner at 90. At 60, I'm going to be less healthy than William Shatner is at 90. Like that's a guarantee.
So you got like 15 years. It's all good.
Yeah, there's a clock on my life, 100%. I'm aware of this and I've accepted it.
Have you downloaded your countdown app?
No, I don't even want. That's the thing. I read about that.
There was a movie about it that was hilarious.
I'm not doing the count. I don't want to know that.
I won't do it. I'm not downloading it. I don't want it to be right. I want it to say like 2 years or something. I'll be thinking about it all the time.
You download the app and normally they try to charge you for a year without ads. They're like, you know what? For you, it's free.
Don't worry about it, buddy. You just hang in there.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, we got you covered.
Free premium for the next couple weeks.
For the rest of your life.
For the rest of your life. All Before we get to the next story, by the way, if you remember, I uploaded the first of hopefully many creator series videos last week. Okay. If you don't know what that is, and let's say you're interested in YouTube or movies or video editing or whatever, I don't know what you'd be interested in, but if you're interested in the work that we do here and not just enjoying the sweet content, then this thumbnail, look for it in the members section. This is the first of hopefully many creator series for members only, and I basically take you through the process of editing our vocals for the last video. Here's the deal. It's like 45 minutes long, and I sped it up like 15 times or something like that. So then I realized that when I finally finished it, I'm like, oh my God, I spent so much time on this. If you go back and watch it and just imagine that I sped it up like 22 times, and that's how much time I spent on the vocals.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. Well, if you want to see stuff like that, popcast.code/join, you can do that. It's not on this channel. So I think the confusing thing is we talk about becoming a member, but on this Unleashed channel, there is no member option. So it's on our regular Popcast channel.
Oh yeah. Maybe you don't know. Maybe you don't. Okay. All right. So this channel only doesn't have very many subscribers. Our main channel has a lot of subscribers, and maybe you don't know that. If you hit the description, you'll see there's a link to both the top links take you to that channel and to the member section.
Yeah, and a part of that, and as part of that creators thing that Brian's talking about, which by the way, it's a really great video, fun to watch. We did the last video we recorded. We actually recorded everything, the audio and Brian and I's conversation while doing it. And he's going to be releasing that as a members only fun thing as well. And it's us on raw, uncut,
I'm just really worried about all those like really homoerotic statements that you were making.
It's funny. You seem to mirror a lot of things back at me because you're afraid. I just don't fear, bro.
You always have a comeback. It's great. Good for you. Good for you.
Good for you.
Anyways, next up on that, okay, if you look, audio vocals, next up is going to be audio music. So if you like our music, which I'm actually very fond of our music, everything we do, the music for me is the most I'm proud of. So that is going to be cool. All right, guys, listen. Let's get to the next topic.
All right.
Let's stop talking about nonsense.
It's not nonsense.
I'm so damn tired right now. All right, we're talking about Black Adam.
Ooh.
Okay, so this movie I'm stupid excited for, and apparently a lot of folks gonna die.
Yeah, it's what caught me on this story was the fact that they basically compared it to, they want to be fun and edgy, and they want it to be akin to Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight. And as we know, up until that, Batman movies had been dark, but not quite as violent, I think.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Michael Keaton's Batman 2 was literally dark.
Well, yeah, it was dark, yes.
Yeah, it wasn't like dark in theme. It was just so dark you couldn't actually see what was happening on screen.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's a constant pet peeve of mine.
Right.
You know what I did? I took that movie and I dropped it into Vegas Pro and I color corrected it. And if I wanted to wait the 6 hours for it to render, I might do that just so I can watch the actual movie.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, that would actually make it look a lot better. Then you can actually see Danny DeVito, who strangely looks very much like a penguin.
Yeah. Well, he did really good in that movie, though.
He did. So apparently, the producer for Black Adam, Hiram Garcia, has already said the movie's going to be fun and edgy, and it will have a very high body count. So they're going to kill a lot of people. And they compare the film's PG-13 rating to that of The Dark Knight. So don't be put off by the fact that it's going to be PG-13. While there won't be a lot of blood and gore and probably cussing, there will be that same flavor. And The Dark Knight was a really good, of the trilogy. The Dark Knight was probably my favorite.
And the one with Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger. Yeah, it was the first one with Heath Ledger, and it's the one where they tell the backstory where Bruce Wayne goes to Asia and learns like how to fight and all that.
I don't think that was the Heath Ledger one though.
Are you sure? Yeah, he's in the Dark Knight.
I don't know. Honestly though, those movies are really good. Like because of the theme, but even
oh, you're right.
Yeah, the one with Bane is really good because Tom Holland, is that his name? No, not Tom Holland. What's his name?
I'm sorry. Bane. Oh, Bane. Oh, you're killing me here. I'm looking up the first one.
He's like your favorite actor. He's in Venom.
My favorite. You mean? Oh, you're talking about Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy. Damn it! Why can't I remember?
Yeah, you said Tom Holland, and I'm like, what? Now you got me confused.
Yeah, Tom. Tom Hardy played Bane.
Yes, I did know that, but it wasn't. He covered his face, so it really wasn't as good.
Yeah, he did a really good job, though.
So yeah, Heath Ledger was the Joker for the Dark Knight. We were right.
No. That line that Tom Hardy does when he goes, he's like, "You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it."
Yeah,
it was so good, man. I had chills, bro.
I didn't like the Bane character.
Huh?
I didn't like the Bane character.
Oh, I love the Bane character. I mean,
I didn't really like it.
Listen, you know how hard it is to do Bane? Like, if you grew up reading the comic books and watching the cartoons, Bane is like this insane, sort of South American, ridiculous character. Like, the fact that he was able to make that character realistic is just phenomenal.
Well, I mean, the actor is great. I mean, don't get me wrong. That guy can do anything. But, I just didn't like the character.
That's fair.
Yeah, it didn't do anything for me. I like the more intricate characters. I liked Heath Ledger, of course. Everybody liked Heath Ledger. I like the characters that you could see their face better.
Oh, I like Two-Face too. Although I hated the Gyllenhaal sister. Ugh.
Well, yeah,
she was the worst.
She was not a good Batman love interest.
She's not a good actress. All right, let's talk about this though. So apparently, we already talked about it. That's it. Apparently, there's gonna be a lot of murder.
It's gonna be a lot of killing, and so Black Adam. For those of our fans who don't know, can you explain what superhero Black Adam is? It's an antithesis to.
So Black Adam, he's an anti-hero actually. So like, sometimes he's a bad guy, sometimes he's a good guy. It sort of depends on the situation and who the writer was in the comics, but he's pretty much the opposite personality-wise and theme-wise as Shazam. So like if Shazam is the white spy, then Black Adam is the black spy, right? Like spy versus spy, whatever. But the thing is, the character itself, if they stick to canon, is actually crazy old. Like we're talking about thousands and thousands of years, because as long as you're in Shazam form, you're immortal, and you only age when you leave that form, right?
Okay.
So basically, imagine if Shazam's character, right, Zachary Levi, imagine if as a kid he said Shazam and he just never left adult form and just stayed. He just stayed in adult form his whole life. So his regular body is aging that entire time, but he's as the character Shazam for so long that if he ever leaves that character, he's just gonna die of old age instantly.
Oh, okay.
So this character is basically, if I remember correctly, he is so stupid old. He's immortal because he's stayed in the Shazam character, in that whatever that transformation is. He's stayed in that the entire time. So he's also ultra powerful because he's lived that way for like thousands of years.
Got it. Okay. Well, that's a good indication.
He's also the first superhero to kick Superman's rear end.
Really?
Yeah, everybody thinks it's Doomsday. But listen, yeah, Doomsday did technically kill Superman, okay? But before Doomsday killed Superman, Black Adam had him running. Black Adam was the first character in comics to whoop Superman's butt.
All right, well, it'll be exciting to see. We have Black Adam coming out It looks like it's coming out next year. Do we have a date on that? I don't see it.
I don't know.
Let me get it for you real quick before you go.
All right.
Yeah, because it is something. I mean, we're gonna have to talk about later when we talk about the Red Notice story, which we will do probably during the member section today. We got to talk about whether or not Dwayne Johnson is doing too much. July 29th, 2022. So we've got quite some time still, another 8 months or so before this movie comes out.
Can't wait. And let me tell you something. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is not doing too much.
We're going to talk about that.
No. Give me all the Dwayne. I want all of it.
You're going to take it. You're going to ask, you want all of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
I want the full Rock.
All of that sounds bad. All of it.
I want all the Rock. Give me all the Rock you can give me.
All right. You're
all
wrong.
right.
You're wrong.
We have a special guest. He's in the back. He's in the green room. So
Yes.
before we get to him, though, we have a couple more stories. Let's just knock these out real quick because we promised them. We're going to talk about an update to the Alec Baldwin fiasco, murder, manslaughter, whatever it was. Apparently, the lady that got paid. I mean, dude, this whole thing is such a mess. Like, first off, she wasn't even the first armorer. There were other armorers before her, but they like walked off the set because of some kind of it was unsafe or a strike or something. So they hired some college students or something, right?
We got all that story. Yeah, there's lots of reasons. Well, there were 3 misfires before this happened, by the way.
Oh my God.
3 misfires. The crew, the reason the crew was upset, not just because of safety, they were angry because they had been required. They thought they were going to be staying in Santa Fe, which is near the Bonanza place where they were shooting.
Right.
And but they ended up making him drive the 50 miles back to Albuquerque for whatever reason. And they were concerned that after working 10 to 12 hours every day, then they have to drive 50 miles, that they might get into an accident because they were tired. So that was part of what happened there. So when they walked off the set, this incident happened like, I want to say between 3 and 6 hours after they left the set that day.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And basically, some of them had to be escorted off the set by security because there became some sort of argument or altercation. So I got to tell you, this is like a really bad karma thing for Alec Baldwin and the producers who were running this show. If you look at this here, Alec Baldwin, if there were 3, this is why I say Alec Baldwin may be culpable here. If there were 3 misfires prior to this happening, why wasn't everybody taking a stop in a moment to go like, we need to pay attention to gun safety? With 3 misfires, Brian, it's not like 1, like 3, right?
Yeah, that's a lot, bro.
It's crazy. That's a lot. Crazy thing altogether.
Yeah, and you're still gonna point the gun at the camera where someone's standing behind. Like, I mean, if I was Alec Baldwin, after the second misfire, every single time I was handed a weapon, I would have personally opened that chamber and made sure that I wasn't shooting somebody. Like, come on.
Yeah. Previous to that, Baldwin's stunt double accidentally fired 2 rounds after being told the gun was cold, which means basically it doesn't have any ammunition, including blanks. It was supposed to be completely empty, and it had 2 rounds in it.
How just absolutely apathetic do you have to be to hand someone a weapon, say it's cold, and like you obviously just didn't check it? Like,
yeah, it just wasn't checked.
Dude, is there one person checking it and then they put it like in a bin or something and that person just gets it and just doesn't check it and just hands it off? Like, how in the world?
Right.
Like, bro, we've had people work in our studio that were like, had just turned 18 that make less mistakes than this.
Well, and I think that's where they bring up the earning. So Screen Rant has this article where it says Rust producers were set to earn $650,000 for the movie. The Armor was set for $8,000. So $7,913 to be specific. What's interesting about that is you might think, oh gosh, the Armor was only getting $8,000, but it was a 21-day shoot.
That's a lot of money for 21 days.
A lot of money for a young person for 21 days.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is fair, saying the producers were going to they're trying to do is say the producers were getting $650K for the movie. The Armor was getting $8K.
You're giving a 22-year-old $8,000 for 21 days of work.
Right. To just basically make sure the guns are operating properly and aren't loaded when you hand them to someone.
Yeah. Not hard, guys. I don't understand. This is not even a hard job. Can I get this job? Are these jobs out here? I'm sorry, guys. I'm quitting. I'm going to go be an armorer for a movie set. And you know what? I can do it based on only like 6 years in the military. Because guess what, guys? It's not that hard. It's not that hard. It's not that hard to check and see if a weapon is loaded.
Yeah. I mean, if you could get the job back to back, you could make a decent living doing it. But the point here is that they're trying to do this whole thing where they're saying the producers are getting $650K, the Armor is set for $8K. Well, the producers are creating the entire movie. They're invested into it. So the reason why they're making so much more money is they have more skin in the game.
It's their business. It's their movie.
I don't think it's really fair to do that. But there are some other things that come under scrutiny here.
I want to see what they say about the craft service people. He's like, yeah, producers are making $650,000, and the person that serves sandwiches is only making $2,500. How is that fair?
I think that's what they're alluding to here. Like, what's the fairness here? Because I'll tell you what's very odd. The Armor is making just under $8,000. But the here's what's funny. The weapons rentals cost $17,500 to rent the weapons, and the rounds cost an additional $5,000. So it costs more to rent the equipment than it did to pay the person taking care of the equipment, which I find a little odd.
That is very weird. And you know what? If I was the equipment rental company, I'd rent out a person too.
Might as well, right?
Right. Rent out a person for $5,000, right? Right. Or $8,000 or whatever it is. Give the guy $5,000. Make sure they're trained. Boom. Everyone wins.
Yeah, I think also part of the problem was, so they had these people going 50 miles back to Albuquerque. What's interesting is that the producers had set aside a $25,000 budget for their hotel rooms, right, for 5 people. In contrast, they only set aside $95,000 for basically the other 21 people. So
I'm sorry, but cry me a river, dude, because I worked in LA for 6 years. I drove 4 hours a day to and from Orange County to Los Angeles to Lancaster to San Bernardino, back to Los Angeles, back home every single day, 10, 12-hour shifts every single day for 6 years. I never killed anybody. I never shot anybody at a weapon. I never made a mistake. When I left that job, I got a healthy pat on the back of a nice little bonus, and I said I'm never driving again. But you know what? It's 21 days. It's a job for 21 days. You can handle the 45-mile trip. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, no, I think the problem was, and that's what I'm trying to say here, is that 5 people had rooms for $25,000, where the other 21 people had rooms for not, you know what I'm saying? So if the producers had just gotten a more reasonable rooms for themselves, then they could have afforded for those people to not have to drive, which would have negated the entire argument in the walk-off. Right.
So had they just been a little less selfish, I think is the point here. They could have had the crew, probably would have been more safe. Everything would have probably been a little better situation. Not saying this wouldn't have happened had those people not left, but it's obvious that it didn't help the situation.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think this whole thing is very interesting. Dwayne Johnson's already came out and said they will never use real guns again now. They will use rubber guns for his production company. What is it? $7?
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson?
Yeah, he came out and said he will no longer ever use real weapons again. They will use rubber guns, and everything will be done in post-production. All the gun sounds, everything else. They will not. real weapons, even
Now
for
here's the deal: you could totally do that. It's just going to cost you 7 times the amount.
And he did, and he said, "We'll just eat the cost on it."
And you know, that's fine if you want to do that. But this was not this was not the guns problem, everybody.
No, this was not the. You're right. That's a really.
Let's be really clear here, and I'm not some crazy gun-toting Second Amendment guy. But here's the deal.
Why'd you put an accent on the end of that?
I'm sorry. Because we have family members. We have family members that have that accent. Listen.
Oh, well, I will tell you, I have family members that have guns, so it's all good.
Yes, but here's the deal: it wasn't the gun's fault. The gun didn't shoot that person. The gun didn't hand the hot weapon to an actor or a stunt double 3 times with ammo in it. The gun did not do that. The gun is a tool.
This is a person problem.
Yes. Here's a cool. See this fake microphone here, right? If I bashed myself up against the face until I broke my nose, I couldn't blame the microphone. Right? Like, okay, we understand that, right? You're not gonna blame the tool for your inept apathy. You know, oh, I'm mad because I'm not getting paid what the producers are getting paid. So here's a weapon, whatever it's called, whatever.
I agree with you, but to be devil's advocate, what if there was an idiot sitting next to you that kept picking up the microphone stand and smacking you with it? And you couldn't get the idiot to understand that he's not supposed to pick up the microphone and hit you with it. Wouldn't you eventually take the microphone away from him?
Yeah, I would fire that. I would fire that person immediately.
That is the argument, though.
So here, see this lighter? Oh, you can't see it.
I can't see.
Yeah. My bad. Shane got me this lighter. Look at this. Isn't that nice?
For your birthday.
For my birthday. This is it's a recreation, but it's a recreation of it's a handmade recreation of a really sweet, old-timey sort of steampunk lighter. I mentioned that I loved the way it looked online at one point, like 6 months ago, and Shane went on his way to find this. Here's the deal. This is stupid dangerous. Okay. I was loading it with the fluid wrong, and then I figured out how to get the wick in, and then I realized that because the wick has to be soaked in the flammable fluid, when you go like see that? When you go like that, if this is not closed, then that flammable fluid, it's going to light the wick, but it's also going to light the stuff around the wick, right? Mm. And if you have a little bit of that stuff on your fingers, it's getting on your hands.
Yeah,
it's dangerous.
And then it's going to light you on fire.
Yes. Now I recognized that this was dangerous, so I cleaned it and I capped it. And
you took care of it.
I did the responsible thing to make sure that I didn't light myself on fire.
You weren't going out back and having fun shooting contests when you weren't filming. Anyways, I mean, there's going to be a lot more to come of this, and I know we've beat this thing a little bit, but that's what's going on. By
the way, I'm not defending Alec Baldwin, by the way. I'm just saying, apparently all of them screwed up royally. So
right, yeah, there's a big problem there. Listen, Lawrence with the companion app is not going to go into the member section with us today. So if we want to bring him in, I know we got a couple more.
We have one more story. We can bring him in for that. Yeah, man.
Well, no, we've got 2 more coming in, and after that, but I think he wants to come in, and it's also he's over across the pond, so it's getting late for him there. So let's bring him on.
Let's bring him in. Let's do that. Okay, here we go. Across the pond, you say?
Across the pond, yes.
He's over across the pond.
He's over in good old England.
Hey, there he is,
dudes.
Lawrence, how are you, my friend? Fine. It's nice to talk to you in person. I've seen the interviews, and I've talked to you on Twitter, but I never talked to you in person.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah. Great to see you guys as well.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know, Lawrence is the co-creator of the companion app, and the companion app is this wonderful new online magazine that's currently just killing it with Stargate content. And you guys have something really exciting happening tomorrow. Can you tell us a little bit, Lawrence, about the companion app, and then also about this cool event that's happening tomorrow?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And yeah, thanks so much for having me on. Yeah, I mean, when we first started, or at least thinking about it a couple of years ago, you know, we kind of look to places like, say, sports entertainment. You know, you have like the Athletic and Sports Illustrated. If you look at kind of fashion, you have maybe Vanity Fair and Vogue. We kind of looked at this space in terms of sci-fi. You know, the biggest movies. I think you guys maybe talking about things like Dune coming up, you know, or Marvel superhero films. Anything on this kind of side of geek fandom. We thought, where are those kind of documentaries? Where are those kind of podcasts? Where are those, types of stories being told in long form that, fashion and sport have? So that's really what we've been trying to replicate. And being a content creator from sports, creating those kind of documentaries previously, and also a little bit of an entrepreneur and chancer, I guess. I thought, well, if you're going to go, tell some sci-fi stories, why don't you go for people at the top? And I thought, well, if you reach out to Brad Wright, the co-creator of, say, something like Stargate, and he tells you no, or he doesn't reply, that's fine. But sometimes you swing big, and he loved what we were doing, loved the approach, and he said, you know what? Why don't I try writing something for you guys? That was about a year ago, and that just kicked off a wonderful relationship. He's been a great advisor. He's written a few articles, and then eventually it led to a podcast series that we've been producing and hosting, Conversations in Sci-Fi, where he catches up with his kind of fellow Stargate cast friends, as well as other friends kind of in sci-fi. And then and then a couple of months ago, we've always had this kind of big idea, like, could we one day bring some of the cast back together? Wouldn't a cast reunion be fun? We know people have done table reads before, whether it was at San Diego Comic-Con a couple of years ago. Dial the Gate has been doing some pretty interesting things. And with us, it's always, how do we do something slightly different, maybe slightly bigger, I suppose. And so one of the ideas originally was that, as you guys have reported on very well, is that Brad had a pilot. And we're like, hey, Brad, what if we did a table read of the pilot?
Right.
And he's like, no, like, we can't do that. We can't do that. Like, okay, well, we tried, and then he came up with this idea. But you know what? It doesn't have to be, necessarily a table read of something that's existed before. What if we tried something new? And I don't know if anyone, hopefully people have seen Travelers.
Oh yeah,
great show.
One of my favorite.
Right. And I don't want to ruin anything or spoil anything for anyone, but AI does have something to do with it. So he's always been fascinated with AI, and obviously, replicators and Fifth and all these other characters in Stargate kind of exist. So he's always had this fascination, and so he thought, what if we went out there and found like good AI, okay, like groundbreaking, bleeding edge AI. Do you think you have any kind of connections? Maybe I have connections. Let's not just do something that's like an experiment that's happened maybe 2-3 years ago. Let's actually try to create something new, like a world first. And so, honestly, it went down like the lines of like asking university professors. I'm very lucky. I had the opportunity to study at Oxford, so I started asking professors there, and eventually we landed on Lawrence Moroney, who is the head of Google AI.
Awesome.
We figured we couldn't do any better than that, and so yeah, let's get the ball rolling. And it's been a pretty tough, fun project over the last several months, and yeah, we can't wait to debut it tomorrow with everyone.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome.
So here's a question for you. So can you go back? You have a Stargate history. It's not just Brad Wright and this whole thing you guys have going on. You've been involved with Stargate for quite some time. Can you go back and talk about what you used to do for Stargate, and then maybe talk about a little bit how your relationship now and what you guys are doing might provide some insight on, what you think, where you think Stargate is going in the future? Of course, Amazon has purchased MGM. And so we just love to get your ideas and thoughts about all that. Our fans would love to hear you.
Yeah, for sure. So it was a couple of years ago. We basically, before the companion, we were a production company. So we made shows. That's what we did. Um, we made shows for the BBC, MTV, and so MGM had gotten in touch and said, "Look, we really love what you guys are doing over in the UK in London. Could you think about some of the famous IP that we have? Like, what could you do with it?" And originally, it wasn't just Stargate. We had thought about um, things, anything from Pink Panther to Weekend at Bernie's to Vikings, and obviously Stargate. And we had a couple of ideas, but mainly what we thought was, look, if you have a huge audience, that might be something really fun to work with. And they suggested, hey, well, we want to try some experiments with Stargate. It's a beloved franchise, hasn't been around for 10 years. We've launched this Stargate command platform. Do you guys want to? Originally, it started off helping with some of the YouTube channel stuff. So we're like, yeah, sure. So we kind of helped freshen up the branding, created some videos, just that kind of thing, just to make it, look and feel like an organized YouTube channel. And then over
Right.
time, started creating content for Stargate Command. And hopefully we started, creating a little bit more in-depth, stories and fan videos. I think there was a real life Stargate that was built by Les Enfants de MacGyver.
I saw that.
Awesome. Yeah. And so we went out and filmed them. And so, yeah, it's been an awesome journey, meeting everyone in the community and working for MGM.
Lawrence, were you at Comic-Con a few years ago for the Stargate thing?
There were people that we ended up hiring to get out there. I wasn't able to travel at the time. But
so
yeah,
we met
somebody
them
from the company.
We were invited.
Okay,
we were
cool.
invited to go to the Orville Experience that was down there, and at the Orville Experience, which was like an Orville museum, we met the Stargate people, and they were talking about the Stargate they got set up and all that. And that's interesting. What a small world it is.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Are you from the UK, Lawrence?
Oh no, I'm from Irvine, California. Actually,
I was gonna say, listen, man, I'm also from Orange County, and I can tell an Orange County boy when I see it. I see the accent. Like, I'm right there with you, bro.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I'm trying to hold on to my accent as strong as possible. Everyone always says, like, hey, how come you don't go for the British accent? And I said, well, you know what? In Britain, it doesn't really do a lot for you.
Yeah.
So
you see, the Orange County accent, the SoCal accent is basically if you take all the culture out of your voice and you just have a flat voice and then you use random slang words that make you sound unintelligent. That's our accent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you're killing me. So Lawrence, so a little more, so this whole news that Amazon's buying MGM, you, like the rest of us, were probably extraordinarily excited. We knew MGM selling themselves to somebody who could afford to make Stargate was likely the answer to getting new Stargate. Due to your relationship with Brad Wright and everything, we're not telling you to tell us anything that you can't tell us, but where do you see things going in the future with Amazon and this whole thing? And what are the likely chances you think of us getting new Stargate?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Let's be very clear. I don't speak to MGM or Amazon at all. So everything I'm talking about now would be purely educated speculation and just being in the industry and knowing the industry. I think the first thing that needs to be worked out, and I'm not sure if all the fans are aware, but you guys had just released a video, awesome video that kind of touched upon it, which is buying a big movie studio like MGM just takes time. And I think with the complexities with Amazon, particularly Amazon owning so many different, properties, right? From e-commerce to cloud computing. I think there's a fear right now that Amazon is owning too much. And so they just have to go through that process. In fact, I think there's a Yale Law Review paper, if you'd like to read it. That's basically what they are kind of dealing with. But fingers crossed it all goes through. And I think this is exactly what any MGM property, including Stargate, needs, right? Because MGM, if you just look at the history, all their films tend to be co-produced or distributed by with other studios.
Right.
And so, yeah, you always need that. And you know, that's very common with any movie you watch, right? There's like 10 logos that kind of happen, you know, as you're watching it. And now you're just going to have this awesome Amazon logo, and you have the biggest company in the world, you know, behind it. And so, man, I couldn't be more thrilled because you know, it's one of the major streamers, right? It's one of the main you know, tech companies out there.
A friend of mine said, "Oh, I wish Netflix would have gotten it instead of Amazon." And I told him, I was like, "No, man, Netflix has too much going on."
Yeah.
Amazon, you know, as far as money goes, Amazon has more money, and they have less going on, which means that they're going to put more effort into MGM's properties, in my opinion. Also, I think that, listen, if Disney can own, you know, everything, and if Facebook can own everything else, then I think Amazon can take the scraps that's left over. That's my opinion. I know they're a massive billion-trillion-dollar company, but, you know, the argument that they have too much, you're like, wait, Disney has more as far as media is concerned. They own like half of the public television channels, like, for the love of God. No one's complaining about that. Like,
oh, they are.
You know what? For Stargate fans, I'm going to paint a picture here that is completely baseless, but I think about this all the time. But it's going to be awesome. You know, if you're a Star Wars fan, or an MCU fan, or a Star Trek fan, there's a lot out there for you, right? There's collectibles and merchandise and T-shirts and all sorts of stuff, lightsabers, you get everything.
Right.
But you know, if you're a Stargate fan, you know, you haven't had that kind of robust, let's say, collectibles, you know, kind of world. What's interesting about Amazon, the biggest e-commerce, you know, company in the entire world. I can't wait if they are able to get just everything together and line up all these departments. You get these new shows, and immediately you can get 1 day shipping, you know, or I don't know what it is in the US. Maybe 3 hours later, right?
Yeah.
You know, like straight into your. I mean, that would be incredible. You know.
Yeah, I just want to own a full-size, life-size Stargate hot tub. That's it. I want an 8-man hot tub that has a ring around it that resembles the chevrons from the Stargate. Okay, maybe an officially licensed product, and then me and my buddies jump in to said hot tub. That's what I want. I wanted that since I was 22. Damn.
Wow. That's a dream, bro.
If that is ever made, oh my God, I'm selling my truck to get it. I'll live in that thing.
But that's the thing. Like, as crazy as that idea is, you know, I don't think Hulu could do it. No. I don't know if Netflix could do it. Amazon's the only kind of crazy enough company, maybe like eBay or something, right? That could actually go and do that. And so that totally to me is like, you could really start to imagine, like, you know, how crazy this could get, you know, and where it could go. So
you're totally right.
Yeah.
plus they're really forgiving about their licensing stuff. Like they'll be like, oh, you want to make 3D printed Expanse ships? That's fine, as long as you sell them here. We don't care. You know, they're very cool about that. So
really interesting. Really interesting.
So Lawrence, tomorrow you've got this really great event, and we just put out a video basically talking about your AI event, this thing you were talking about earlier with the script that came up with. Can you tell us a little bit more about that, when it's going to happen, and how people can go see that?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing is, if you want to go and check it out, you can go to our website, www.thecompanion.app. And it'll get you to the AI project page. Otherwise, you can go straight there, /AI-project. But it's kind of plastered all over there. I think it's going to be really fun. I think it's going to be hopefully it is going to be innovative. The way that we've approached, and really let's be honest, it's the way Lawrence Moroney has approached this kind of project and technology. It's never been done like this before. Effectively, most AI, I think that we're familiar with, or AI that's created screenplays in the past, is like a super brain computer. It's got, and if you're using, say, one of the best systems out there, GPT-3, it has 175 billion input parameters, basically. So it's effectively read the entire internet and it knows everything. So if you go out there and use that system and you stick in, anything, Jack O'Neill or Teal, whatever, it'll spit stuff back out. But it gets really funny really fast, right? It talks about ice cream and cake recipes and who knows what, racing cars. It's because it's read everything. It's too smart. So sometimes when things are too smart, and that's kind of our first iteration of this, we thought, what, you maybe need to almost like dumb it down a little bit, like how do you turn it into a savant, right, of something as like a metaphor. And so Lawrence had this idea, well, what if we don't allow the robot to be smart enough to know anything else other than, say, Stargate? Then it can't produce anything else other than Stargate. That still wasn't good enough. So then he had this crazy idea. Why don't we just build a robot for every single character? And so that started having to limit how many characters were in it, because then it would start to get too crazy, if that makes sense. And then you also have this issue because you need characters that have had enough script to be able to input and make it smart enough, because you can't make it too dumb. So as an example, the Sam Carter bot has 5 million inputs versus, say, the super, GPT-3 that we had mentioned that had 175 billion. And I think another layer that what Lawrence realized that throughout the process was Sam doesn't speak to Jack the same way Sam speaks to Daniel, right? Or to, say, a random airman. So actually, these characters have multiple bots kind of underlying them. So when she speaks to, say, Jack or General Hammond or somebody of a higher authority, she'll tend to say things like "sir," and be much more polite. And if she's speaking to Daniel, it'll be much more, friendly or brotherly, if that makes sense. And so actually, the bot is Sam speaking to Jack, Sam speaking to Daniel, Sam speaking to Ben.
To make it even more specific. Can
exactly,
you tell us the actors that are going to be involved in this?
Yeah, absolutely. So Daniel Jackson, I won't spoil how many there are, but we do reveal it. He has actually the most unique words. So it wasn't just the lines, but the most unique words in Stargate. And so Michael Shanks is a part of it. Amanda, her character Sam, comes in at second. So she's involved in it. And then we wanted to see if we can actually get a little bit of crossover activity. So we looked at both Atlantis and Universe, and obviously Atlantis being a longer running series. We had David Hewlett, who plays Rodney McKay, next. And then we did throw one curveball. I had asked Brad like what he thought about, do you think AI could create love? Because everything that he writes has a lot of heart to it. And so that's where he's like, yeah, why don't we see if Jewel State is around and if she can come back and reprise her role as Jennifer Keller, and let's see how the relationship would work. And interestingly enough, not to spoil any of the scripts for tomorrow, there is kind of a little bit of a relationship love scene, but it's not actually who you necessarily consider. And interestingly, this AI, even though it can only kind of talk to the other robots, it doesn't mean that they can't refer to other characters or other characters couldn't be in the scene. So as an example, say Teal'c could be in a scene. He doesn't necessarily talk all the time, right? Or necessarily. And so actually there's a lot more to it. And it is completely a AI science experiment, as in at one point, Brad no longer was allowed to be involved in the content. I took over. I told Lawrence, we will not tamper or tinker with it. If there's a typo, well, let's not call it a typo because it wouldn't be a typo, but if the punctuation is out of order, then we leave it. If it's a weird made up word, we leave it. This is going to be true science. So there is no editing magic, if you will, to try to make it more coherent. It is like exactly what it is. And so when the actors acted out, if anything is funny or sounds weird, they are actually so brilliant. They're just reading these crazy made up words.
Wow. That sounds great.
Yeah. It must sound like what it sounds like when I try to read our scripts instead of Shane.
Well, this is so great. hopefully this turns into a really big, huge thing that fans can get around, and also gets the attention of Amazon, letting them know, hey, because I mean, the reality is that everybody involved in this, from Brad to Michael Shanks and Amanda Tapping and all, they are all willing to come back. I think even RDA is willing to come back and do Stargate, or so he said. So that we need to get the attention and going forward. So tell us a little bit, Lawrence, about the future for the companion app and what you guys are going for and shooting for, and how people can check you guys out.
Yeah. Actually, if I can add one more thing about just tomorrow's event.
Yes.
Just to let everyone know, we're actually doing 8 unique scripts, and we're going to have 4 monologues. So there's a lot going on, and we're also going to be having a Q&A as well. So if you've got questions for Brad or Amanda, Lawrence Maroney, etc.,
so tomorrow when it starts, I just go to that link, right?
What members are going to do is, if you're a member, you're going to be sent basically a private link, and then you'll join that, and then that's when the party will start. We'll wait a few minutes to get everyone, settled.
I see.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
because I was trying to figure out how to be a part of it and when, and it kept sending me the wrong. I was getting so confused.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
I told someone on Twitter, and they were like, "No, you're fine.
Yeah. Don't panic. If you have the app, we're gonna send you an app notification. If we got your email, we're gonna.
So we get an email link. Okay, cool. All right.
Oh yeah.
I was worried about it for a minute there. I was like,
we're gonna get the link in 3 different ways.
Do I have too many plugins in my browser? What's going on right now? I was disabling all my ad blockers and everything. I'm like, what? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, man. That is awesome. I can't wait. Tomorrow's gonna be a blast.
Yeah. No, it'll be really fun. And look, I think after tomorrow as well, we're going to start talking about where can the AI go, because it doesn't have to just be Stargate. The way it's built, it is literally, right, if you think about it, character bots. And so I'm wondering, hey, can you do crossovers?
Right.
Can you do mashovers? What would that look like?
Let me ask the hard questions here. Can it make a Popcast script?
You know what? I think GPT-3 would be a lot better for that.
We should do Firefly next, Lawrence. Let's do Firefly.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, it's one of the things, right?
I don't think Jewel State and I don't think I've ever seen Daniel Jackson and Keller in a TV show together, in an episode, right? They never interacted because the crossovers that they were in, Keller wasn't a part of the show then, right?
Right.
So this is actually the first time we'll see Shanks and State in the same scene.
Exactly.
No, that's awesome.
You've never seen these characters cross over. They've never passed each other in the hallway. They've more or less always been in different galaxies, except for Daniel's episode. I think Midway, when he kind of goes over there, and so. Is it Midway? I might be getting it wrong, but one of the episodes. And that's why, how do you get 2 characters who have never talked to each other before to actually develop some relationship? I think that's the true innovation. Honestly, if people are on the fence of being there or not, join. You will be witnessing a world first.
Oh yeah,
it's just,
this is a no-brainer. If you're a Stargate fan, you need to see this tomorrow.
Yeah. And to answer your question, Shane, in terms of what's next, the podcasts with Brad and his guests are continuing. So he's already done it with all the cast members that are part of Stargate AI. He's recorded Jules. Jules will be coming out, I think next week or in 2 weeks' time. Also with Joe Malazzi, and we'll reveal another kind of big project tomorrow, hopefully as well. Yeah, I mean, we've gone far beyond just covering Stargate. We've gone pretty deep into Dune coverage, all the way back to the old Dune coloring books. If anyone remember those from
somehow even more colorful than the current movie that just came out. So
right.
The black and white uncolored pages of those coloring books have more vibrancy and color than the movie that just came out 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. And we're gonna go. Hopefully, people have liked what we've done with Stargate. It's not gonna stop. That's gonna always continue. Like the reason why I brought up that sports analogy in the beginning is because, it's tough to cover, say, television franchises like sports, and so it just doesn't really exist unless
Right.
if unless if you are Stargate Command or StarWars.com, that kind of thing. And so that's what we're really trying to create. It's like, hey, let's create Team Stargate, and that's what they're doing. And so that's not going to stop. That's going to continue, and then we're going to go into Star Trek next. We've polled our members. They've told us this is what we want. So it's definitely Star Trek and also The Expanse. Those are the next two franchises that we're
That's
going
awesome.
to try everything we possibly can to go as high up and as hard as possible.
I remember when we first started doing Stargate stuff, one of the very first videos we made, you guys reached out to us, and we were like, yeah, we're just going to launch this companion app, let's do something together. And for a minute, I remember Shane was trying to explain to me how it worked. He says, yeah, so it's an app, and it's a companion to Stargate. I'm like, but there is no Stargate. He goes, no, but it's a companion to Stargate. I'm like, Shane, I don't understand what you're talking about. Now, listen, to be fair, 2 years later, I'm on your website all the time. So thanks, I get it. I understand now totally. But I remember we just started, no one was talking to us. We had like very little subs. We had this video that was just taking off like crazy. And then a companion, but not the official companion. It was sort of like an unofficial companion wanted to work with us. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I can't explain it. But then now 2 years later, I'm looking at it and I'm like, this is great. It's like if Reddit was curated to only the most important stuff. That's what it's like.
Yeah. And you know what? I think there's an awesome place for all of that stuff, whether it's Reddit, Facebook groups, etc. It really comes down to, probably to our detriment. Like, we don't have an article less than 2,000 words, right? I think usually like 3,000 words.
Oh, that's a fact. Yeah. And your podcasts are like 2 hours long.
Yeah. So I know sometimes I think, man, maybe people need stuff that's shorter. But every time we think about that, it's, I think there's a huge role to play for news, shorter content, snackable content, those kind of things. And then for us, it's like, the thing that's kind of been missing is, again, going back to that long form documentary, narrative journalism.
Yes.
If we can bring some of that into this ecosystem, because dude, like sci-fi fans, hopefully if they can organize, they're the most powerful group. They're wealthier, they're more educated than sports fans and every other category. But somehow, I think, well, not somehow, it's just we're newer, we're younger, right? It's just like literally as a genre, we don't have the legacy, particularly media company legacy, that these other places have.
And there's not enough science fiction out there because it's so damn expensive to make. I think that's why. There's just not enough.
We've reached that point now that it's like technology, as in the production process. That's why we're seeing so many amazing projects coming out. And I think we are literally in this kind of heyday, that tipping point of every single major streamer having, their landmark sci-fi, anime, fantasy. It's pretty exciting. Yeah.
Are you watching Cowboy Bebop yet?
I will definitely be watching. I haven't been, because what I've been actually doing, obviously, has been editing the Stargate table read.
But you're gonna watch it, I'm assuming.
Today. Oh yeah, 100%.
Live action Cowboy Bebop. I can't. Okay. Yeah. I'm pretty sure Firefly was based on Cowboy Bebop. So.
As a kid who grew up in Southern California, went to Taiwan, watched anime in Japanese as a kid, had to read the Chinese subtitles. And really for a long time in Hollywood, not seeing a lot of Asian representation.
They didn't. Yeah.
And now, we have, whether from Shang-Chi and now Cowboy Bebop. Yeah, my brother and I talk about this all the time.
I'm a huge really Cowboy Bebop fan. I was reading the comics. I was watching the TV when I was like my late teens. Like, it's been around for a long time, and I remember thinking, man, this would be an amazing movie or TV show. And then when
Yeah.
Firefly came out, I'm like, oh, it's basically Firefly. Okay, cool. And that was gone after one season.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's awesome. And anyway, yeah, I can't comment, unfortunately, because I haven't seen it, but yeah.
Are you guys
Super
going to cover
pumped.
dark matter at all?
Yeah. Look, I mean, from our perspective, I think what we need to do is, for us to be able to cover a franchise like, super in depth, it's not just, reaching out and finding, like, say, the Brad Wright show, showrunners or co-creators.
Right.
It's actually starting to put around that entire team. So, we have to get a producer in place. We have to get the journalists, and we have, they have to really understand and know the lore. So, to be honest, like, there's a lot of like pitches that we get all the time for stories. And you know what? I think maybe this kind of sums up, hopefully, the companion a little bit. One of our journalists had mentioned this to us. They said, look, whenever we go and pitch stories, we typically pitch the story that we think you want. Then we pitch the story that we want to write. And then we pitch the story that we've always wanted to write, but we know you'll never go for. And so the way we do that is because we always hopefully means that you might get, choose number 2. But most of the time you choose number 1. And you guys always choose number 3. And I actually have no idea of that real story because I haven't looked into it. And so, yeah, when someone pitched like, hey, can I do a soundtrack, or story around a soundtrack of Batman Forever? It was crazy. He was like, yeah, do that one. Don't do anything else that you've pitched. Just do that one. And they're like, holy shit. Like, I don't know anything about it. And it's like, no, that's the one we want. We want the Tape Crusader. Get that going. And so that ended up being one of our features, and we loved it. And so yeah, I think that's the thing. Whether it's dark matter or it's something like The Matrix, we really want to build like a strong team around it and deliver something for people. For fans, and so every time we go about doing it, I mean, we call ourselves the companion because we literally want to have that same level of quality of a companion book. So everything has to feel like it's been published, by a major publisher.
Right.
So that's the way we.
It sounds exciting, Lawrence. I got to tell you, we are. This is going to be great. If you guys haven't had a chance to go over and check out the companion, please do so. I know you're going to want to watch the Stargate AI thing. It sounds so incredibly exciting. And once again, Lawrence, you can tell them how to get there, and we'll include a link.
Yeah, definitely. The companion.app, that's where you go. You can find us on Twitter or Instagram. It'll all get you there. Companion app, just across the board. Join, sign up, tweet about it. One other benefit is, look, if you've got a friend and they can't afford or don't want to sign up, all the members, we've built actually a little feature. If you download the app and you hit the little share button, that article skips the paywall and it's absolutely free for your friends. Because
Awesome.
Yes, as much as I want to have that, kind of paywall and quality, I kind of hate, sharing articles and your friends can't read them and stuff. So I thought, look, why don't we just allow that? So, one person joins amongst your friends, you share that article within the app to your WhatsApp group and they can all enjoy it. That's fine.
That's awesome.
So we've done that as well.
Very cool. Well, thank you, Lawrence, so much for being here. We're excited to see what you guys do tomorrow. And please, hopefully you'll come back again soon and talk with us again.
Dude, awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Talk to you later.
All right, I'm going to switch back and forth. Bye, Lawrence.
See ya.
What a good dude. All right, let me get this set up real quick.
Yeah, I love the guys over there. Lawrence, Ben, Nick, just really great. If you guys haven't had a chance, the companion app is an interesting thing. That what Lawrence was talking about was with quality. So there is a fee to go over and it's not even that much money, but they're able to produce so much quality as a result of, people being able to support them and pay for it. So if you're into it, you should definitely give it a check and go look at it. This thing tomorrow is going to be fun though. When was the last time we got to see these characters come together and do something? It's been, over a decade. So.
Right. Yeah, no, yeah. I'm super, super interested in what the AI is going to write for the characters that have never actually met each other,
Yeah. 100%.
Very interesting.
Do you have any comments? I can't look and see. Has anybody commented yet today?
Let me check. Yes.
Let's
All right.
talk. Peeps.
Oh my God, I had the wrong screen up there. Okay. Hey, David Nunya. Don't worry, pronounce it however you like. All right. I think he's talking about his name. Sup, bros? Shane is back. Sorry I'm late. I don't read DC or Marvel comics, but the trailer looks good. Brian wants to go and watch Doom. Armor needs to go to prison for negligence. The lawyer for the Armor is doing media rounds. Mr. Tick Drunk. Hey, there's more people here. Thank you. That's true.
He was watching from the members section.
Oh.
You can watch it from either one. You can watch it from the members stream or from the Popcast Unleashed. So
Yeah, Jeremy said hi. Yeah. So let's bounce over to the member section. You ready to do that?
Well, no, we got a couple more articles over here to talk about.
Oh no, I'm sorry. We have one more article.
We have two.
No,
We
we
didn't
don't.
talk about Disney or Oppenheimer yet.
Oh, I don't have the Disney one.
You can't beat Disney. Workers lose the case. Remember you talked about earlier?
How did I lose that one?
I don't know, but it's okay because I've got it right here in front of me. And the fact that it is.
Wait, I have to have it. I have to have it before you talk about it, bro.
It's in the.
I'm looking. Hold up 1 second.
It's a Cinema Blend article.
Oh God. Okay, I found it. Cinema Blend. Ugh.
Cinema Blend. I know, right?
Okay, yeah. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about Disneyland being bought by cast. Okay, whatever. I'm just gonna let you do it, Shane.
I love that one. Disneyland being bought. Just those three words would be like, what? Do you notice that Disneyland stock went soaring today?
Yes, I love it. I love it. It represents like 50% of my portfolio.
You know what I've decided I'm going to do is when we go over to the member section, I'm going to give a couple of stock picks.
Woo! Yes, look at that, bro. Oh, that market value looking good, baby. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Disney stock was looking good today.
Roku, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing? I bought you at $400. You're at $278, dude. Come on.
Yeah, I wanted to say that Disney stock went up because they basically crushed their employees' hopes and dreams.
I feel worse about that now.
No, but the reality is their earnings are about to report, so people are buying ahead of earnings.
Why is I need to ask you after the show why Roku? What's going on with Roku? It's like should I be buying this dip or what? Anyways, let's go and see on this stuff.
All right. So it looks like the lawsuit against Disneyland brought by cast members may be over. And if you hadn't heard of this lawsuit, back in August, more than 25,000 current and former Disneyland cast members, because even if you are a former cast member, you still want to get paid. They sued the California theme park over higher wages. The cast members claimed that they should have all received a raise to $15 per hour back in 2018. And that was in accordance with a measure voted into law in the city of Anaheim in 2018. And basically that measure said, look, if you as a company in Anaheim City, which is where Disney is located, if you take some money from us, basically some support, some help, then you have to pay your employees $15 per hour and going all the way up to $18 an hour by 2022. Yeah. So what happened was
no way Disney's ever going to do that.
Well, it would have been a law for them to do that if they took this support, this help from the community. The suit argued that Disneyland Resort took advantage of this city subsidy when the Mickey and Friends parking structure was built. I don't know if you saw that. It's that new big parking structure they got over there.
I'm sorry. Just in case, for the people that don't live in Orange County, I actually live a mile away from Disneyland. Right. The city of Anaheim doesn't help Disneyland. Disneyland helps the city of Anaheim.
Right.
The only reason the city of Anaheim pretty much exists is because a third of it is owned by Disneyland.
Well, yeah. Well, it was originally just an orange field, an orange grove.
Right. Yeah. That's let's go Orange County. Yeah.
Yeah. When Walt Disney bought, he wanted to do this theme park. He had this crazy idea to do theme. He went way out. He wanted to do it over by Universal, where Universal Studios is, by Hollywood, but he ended up doing it way out here because the land was cheaper and it was basically an orange grove. And because of Disneyland, an entire city has grown up.
Yes. Orange County is as a healthy reason why Orange County is as prosperous as it is because Disneyland's decisions.
100%.
Disney's decisions in the 50s.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no, 100% true. And so basically they did this parking structure, and the employees apparently thought that was Disneyland taking advantage of the city subsidy. So somehow maybe they weren't charged as much, or they got some sort of kickbacks for building the parking structure in the city. However, the Orange County Register reports that Judge William Claster has now ruled that while Disneyland does receive benefits from working with the city, the agreement with the two does not qualify as a subsidy, and therefore Disneyland is not in violation of Measure L. Yeah, so apparently the city took out like a $550 municipal bond. I don't know if that's supposed to be million. $550 doesn't sound very good. Maybe this is a typo. And then they leased it. So yeah, so the park. Whoa.
I just had this.
$550. That's what we're fighting over here.
I had this hilarious thought of like some Disney attorney going to the city. Listen, we need to borrow $550.
Yeah, right. Like
COVID has been rough. Okay.
It says here that the parking garage in question, the city owns the garage, but leases it to Disneyland for $1 per year. But it sounds like a subsidy to me.
Yeah, wait a minute. Oh, they're doing that thing.
Yeah, so it sounds like, and you got to remember, Disneyland collects $10 to $20 for every person that rolls into that parking garage has got to pay for it.
Bro, how in the world is this a thing? I don't.
Well, because
we own the parking lot. We're going to lease it for $1 a year because they want Disneyland to stay in there and keep expanding. I get it. I get it. But you know what? The corporations pretty much owning small government is getting out of hand, dude.
Well, especially in that area. You see what they're doing with Airbnb, right?
Oh, yeah. They half the homes are now owned by companies that are renting them out of Airbnb.
Well, no. What's happening is the hotels are fighting back, and they're forcing the local government to outlaw Airbnb around Disneyland because they don't want people to stay in Airbnbs. They want them to stay in their hotels.
So, I mean, that's nonsense too. But here's the deal. I would feel really bad for the Airbnbers if I didn't know that half the Airbnbers are investment groups. They're not actual people anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it is a business. It's becoming a business, but it is a really great thing if you do own a property and can do that yourself.
Yes, right? It is absolutely great. And but then you have these like groups of investors buying up properties just to rent them out. Here's a on the same note, but even more disgusting is when Amazon basically had their entire facility. The last time they built their big warehouse, I forgot what city it was in, their entire facility was paid for by taxes by the state because they really wanted the Amazon to be there so that it would be better for their citizens and more jobs. And I understand, but we're getting to the point now. There's got to be some kind of limitations. You cannot just the taxpayers should not be paying for the multi-trillion-dollar company to open their new warehouse. Yeah.
No, it's 100% true.
It makes no sense. And on the same note, the stadiums make 0 cents, Shane.
Well, no. I mean, there's an argument to say that the Colosseum in Rome, was something to entertain the people, which is something that's needed in big cities. So there's an argument.
So if I paid for it, I better get season tickets, damn it.
Well, and that's the thing is it's so expensive now to even go see anything at a stadium. It's ridiculous. But, it's nice to go see monster trucks down at Angel Stadium. They have other events and things like that. No, but you're right.
I saw the circus at the pond. That was pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah, there's things that you can do. I mean, what's interesting is that the unions representing these Disneyland cast members, they're currently in talks trying to get the resort to start paying at least $17 an hour, arguing that other employers in the area are offering that price. Well, what's interesting is the reason why other employers in that area, and I saw right across the street, I saw a McDonald's saying they're paying $16 an hour, just trying to get people there.
Yep. McDonald's is offering $16 an hour plus $100 just to get interviewed.
Because people don't want to work.
Yep. I went on an interview yesterday. I'm kidding.
Yeah, so it's not that Disneyland should pay these people because other people are doing it. It's because other people don't want to work, and for whatever reason, people still want to work at Disneyland. Disneyland doesn't seem to be having a problem hiring
Nah,
people.
they want those perks, bro. They want to be able to bring their family and Disneyland whenever they want.
Everybody wants to work at Disneyland, so they're trying to use that argument that McDonald's can't get anybody because nobody wants to work there.
Yeah. Oh, whoa! You get a free lunch every day. Great. I don't care.
I don't want to work under these conditions.
Yeah. You know
So
what?
it's-
Yeah. It's booty though. They're like, we want $17 an hour, and we want to be able to take a break and go to the bathroom, right? Like, basically, like, except, I mean, it's not as bad as Amazon because Amazon is even worse. Like Amazon has like some guy in the factory died, and they just like they moved him to the left and kept working. Like,
Oh, dude, did you see their recent commercial? This is Amazon. What cracks me about Amazon. They don't care, bro. They literally don't care. They say, look, yeah, come be a warehouse employee. You will never advance further than the warehouse at Amazon. We will not, give raises within. They don't.
yeah,
Like if you're like the best employee ever in an Amazon warehouse, you can't work at like headquarters because they won't hire you. And they recently had these commercials that have this guy. He's like a nurse or something, or he's like now in the medical field, and he's like, "Thank you, Amazon, for giving me a chance to earn enough money to go to school and become a nurse." And then it's like the Amazon smile, and I'm like,
oh my god,
"What the hell did I just watch? Did I just watch a thing that's basically like Amazon saying, don't work with work with us. Come work with us so we can help you get a job someplace else.
Come work for us for next to nothing. Kill your body, destroy your family and any free time you have. So maybe you can afford to go to school to get a better job somewhere else. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, they're basically pitching the fact that you can get that we're a stepping stone.
We're
company.
a stepping stone business. There is no promotions here. Okay.
Have you ever heard of a company in the history of all companies that
Nope.
their hundreds of thousands of dollar commercial that they create is all about what you can do not with Amazon?
Yeah. Bring your own piss bottle.
It's insane.
Jeez.
I was blown away by it. They're totally all in on this. You come work for us, but I don't know. The advantage of working at Amazon is that in the future, it's like Amazon's college, Brian. It's like Amazon is now college. Do you see this?
Oh my god.
Right? Work at Amazon to get it for a better future someplace else.
College is even worse right now. Like, dude,
Oh.
I don't want to sound like the old guy complaining about everything, but dude, I was looking at so my wife was considering for a moment a career change, right?
Right.
Because my wife doesn't really have a career. She's only worked 2 places her entire life, but she's always just gotten a job and just been the best employee she could.
Mhm.
Well, recently she's like, I'm thinking before I get too old, maybe I can advance and have a actual career. And I'm like, okay, yeah, let's look at schools. I'm like looking at, she has some credits. She has like an AA or something, right? It's like it wouldn't be hard for her to get her BA or a BS. So I'm looking at these schools. First off, even the community colleges are stupid expensive right now.
Right.
And even though they're expensive, 90% of the courses are not things that will get you a real job. I don't understand. 90% of the courses there.
Right.
And the ones that will get you a real job are just packed. Most of the courses are just bullcrap courses that will never help you outside in the real work in the professional field.
Well, and kids don't know that. So they go in to get their art history degree and they graduate going, all right, I'm ready to go to work. And then they end up at McDonald's.
Yeah, they end up working at some, print shop, printing like business cards, and sweeping the floor.
Sounds like you. Yeah.
Yep, yeah, that's me.
See, we've got an autobiography happening here.
Like, hey, I have a bachelor's of science, computer science, computer graphics. Cool. Yeah, listen, sweep the floor, you idiot. Can I do like graphics and stuff? I'm like, maybe. We'll see.
They told me that if I spend $5 million going to college, I'd have a job. And I took a loan out on it.
I took a loan that I'm going to pay for the rest of my life because in order to pay this loan off in a reasonable amount of time, I will have to get a job that does not yet exist.
Yeah,
They go, oh, you want to get that job where you can pay your school loans off, you got to have experience first. Oh, but in order to get experience, you got to get a worse job. which means it's going to take you 20 years even to get remotely close to paying that off before you can actually get that better job. And at what point do you realize my life is finite? I live maybe 80 years, and you are literally asking for half my life right now.
Yeah, it reminds me of the 1950s sweatshops where they would bring the people over from like Asia to work, but they had to like, they gave them a place to sleep and food and everything else, and they had to work off their food and eating, and they didn't make enough money to actually pay for what they lived and ate.
So
they could
they're not slaves, but they owe forever.
But they can never get out of their debt, right? That's kind of what college is becoming. Like, you can never get out of your debt. So
they're basically legal slaves, because like, okay, so they can't leave the business to go work somewhere else because they continually owe this money, and they never actually make enough to pay that off, to basically pay off their freedom. Right now, that's actually still happening, at least in the US. There are people that will come over legally, with a business, and they'll go, hey, I want you to come over and work at my
print shop.
Thank you. I want you to come work at the print shop, and I'm going to pay for your H1 or whatever it's called, the visa.
Yeah.
And the visa is like, it's like $5,000 a year or something, right? And oh, well, you don't have any money, so I also, we'll pay for your living expenses. This is actually happening right now. And they'll put them up in a little room that costs $400 or $500 a month, and they'll give them some spending money for things. But what happens is, if you add up what it's costing them to pay their visa off and their rent and their gas, and then they have to get a car because they're tired of taking the bus because it costs $100 a month. Well, they're never gonna actually make enough to pay all that off, so they're just working at that company in perpetuity.
Yeah, and they can't get away because if they say, well, I don't want to do this anymore, then they ship them back to the country he came from.
Right, which is arguably worse, I'm assuming.
Could be.
Or maybe they have had less opportunities. Maybe even though life here sucks, maybe it sucks a little less. I don't know, but I've actually I've seen people that post online, and they're just like stuck in these jobs that they got them over here, and they thought they were gonna eventually become a software designer or engineer and make $35 an hour.
We're looking at you, Google.
But they're making $14 an hour as a paid, I'm not joking, as a paid intern, because they can't even apply for the actual employee job until their visas are paid off. But they'll never make enough if you add up living expenses to pay off said visas. So they're basically highly skilled permanent servants. Google, Microsoft, AWS. This is actually happening, dude.
Oh, I know it's happening. It's sad. Maybe we need that for a topic someday.
Yeah, I mean, we just went ham on this.
What did we start on that? That was Disney.
Are we talking about Disney or thing?
Like Disney to slave labor. Well, that's not a far thing, I guess.
No, not far. Yeah, I always picture like when you're in the park, it's all beautiful and manufactured and all that, and when you leave, when that last person walks out and they shut the gate, right? All the happy characters, their faces go down, instantly downtrodden, because their handlers come out, slap the chains on them, and lead them back to the gulag.
Oh, God.
Okay, man.
On that depressing note,
let's, sorry, Mickey.
Mikey
Moosey. All right, let's talk about, oh, man, I'm going to love this topic, because the older Matt Damon gets, the more he looks like his character from Team America.
I watched that on my trip.
Oh my God. What
my wife saw it for the first time, bro.
I have no idea. I legitimately don't know. Like, it's so offensive.
It's so good watching it again.
It's so Alec Baldwin is part. Alec Baldwin. Dude, Alec Baldwin's a part of the FAG.
Right. No, I know. Dude, it's hilarious.
And he goes off. I can't even say the word. I'll be kicked like you do. He goes off like, you don't mess with us.
Yeah, I know, man. It is so funny. If you guys want a good laugh tonight, go watch Team America.
Oh my God. It's
They're
so
geniuses, bro.
perfect.
They're geniuses. That's all I can say.
Genius. Okay, so on that note, if you've seen Team America, I want you to picture Matt Damon. Picture the Matt Damon puppet, okay? The
Yeah.
character that says Matt Damon. Okay? Picture that face right now. Ready? Matt Damon.
There it is.
There it is, bro. The older he gets, the more he like. It's like his features are softening and growing horizontally. He's looking more and more like his character from Team America.
You know, I saw Stillwater last night, and I got to tell you, I love Matt Damon. I love his movies.
I think it's funny.
It was so good. That movie was so good that he was in, where his daughter's in prison in France. And he's this like broke down Oklahoma guy who's not really smart, not really made a lot of bad choices, and he's got to like somehow be the hero. It was a really good movie, dude. Matt
Really?
Damon.
It's called Stillwater.
Called Stillwater. It's really good.
I gotta check it out. I saw a movie recently called Security with Antonio Banderas, and
Boots and boots.
I thought it was gonna be garbage, but actually, only because I can't remember his name. The guy from Iron Man 3, what's his name? He played like the fake Mandalorian.
Oh,
He's so famous, dude. He's such an amazing actor. Oh, Ben Kingsley.
Kingsley. He's in everything.
Yeah, he's in everything. So Ben Kingsley plays like the bad guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And basically, it's about this kid, like, walks up to a bunch of security guards after hours, and she's in trouble. And Ben Kingsley is like, "Yo, I'm her dad. Can you bring her out here?" And they got to make like this judgment call of like handing her off to the father or not. It's really awkward and sort of tense. But Antonio Banderas is playing like apparently the only security guard with a brain, because the rest of them are like, yeah, no problem, Ben. 1 second. Hey, you got a big looking knife there. Let me go get your kid that's been screaming the whole night. He's the only one that have a brain. But the point is not that the movie's okay, because it is. It's decent. But Antonio Banderas, as old as he is, still he somehow looked younger in this movie.
He's doing that. It's weird, man. The stuff he's doing, he looks young.
He's reverse aging, like Jennifer Lopez.
Kind of weird. They have good genetics with good plastic.
So real question: are they eating babies?
Dude, what?
No, I mean, are they like are they paying for the $1 million a month stem cell?
Oh, maybe.
How can they be reverse aging? Like,
I don't know. They must have they must be taking a lot of metformin.
Bro, you got if you look at J-Lo in her 50s, looks better than when she was in her 20s. Look at Antonio Banderas, they look amazing, and I'm over here at 41 years old trying to figure out how teeth whitener works, dude.
Well, the problem is that you work 18 hours a day, and arguably those people do not. So
that's what
you're worried about paying your next bill.
Yeah,
so.
they probably have like a personal chef cooking them the perfect, most nutritious meal for their bodies, and they sleep 10 hours a day.
Yeah, no, J-Lo's nail person, I know for a fact, makes like between $5,000 and $7,000 per nail thing. So yeah, and they got to come to her. So
yeah, I just bite my toenails off.
That's a lot cheaper.
All right, well, let's talk about this. I'm sorry, guys.
Let's talk about, now that we got on the tangent here. So this movie, Oppenheimer, of course, is about the guy, the father of the atomic bomb, J. Robert Oppenheimer. And this movie, the next big Christopher Nolan movie, and of course we have to talk about it because it's Christopher Nolan, and Christopher Nolan only does big movies, right?
I'm not liking him right now. Like everything he's made, I'm just like, I'm supposed to be excited about it, but I'm just not.
What don't you like?
Well, Tenet, that movie was like honestly boring.
It was boring. You're right. No, that was not a good movie. Although the actor in that movie is really good.
Yeah, he's great, but the movie was boring. What about the movie he made about like the boats in England or whatever? I forgot what it was called.
Dunkirk was great.
What's it called?
Dunkirk.
Yeah, Dunkirk
That was a great movie.
was a great movie when you watch the version that's been condensed to 43 minutes on TV.
I mean, I enjoyed it. I saw it at the theater. I thought, I mean, but then again, I like history movies.
Yeah, so I saw the TV version, and I was like, on like a month later, I went to go rent it to watch it with my wife, and it was the 2.5 hour long one, and I couldn't keep it stay awake.
What about Interstellar?
Interstellar was too long, bro. Oh my god.
It was. See, I get. Okay, I get what you're saying.
For
Okay.
a minute there, I thought, wait, am I on that planet that is going on? You know, it takes a million years. They spent so much time on this planet that's like, okay, time is moving faster, and like the whole time, you as the audience totally realize right then that every minute they're spending there is like, you know, is a minute too long. And yet they're there for 37 minutes or whatever. And you're like, yo, are you guys aware of the...
They knew. Yeah, they were trying to get off.
I don't know if they were trying that hard, bro.
Yeah, I remember it was a giant... They landed on a planet where like there was a giant wave coming through every like 30 seconds or whatever.
Yeah, I remember, but they...
See, the thing is like, okay, Inception or like... Okay, so Nolan's movies make you think the whole time. Like they're interesting, like Inception, you know, The Prestige. These movies make you think while you're watching it, and while they are long and a little bit burdensome, I would say, like, unlike Denis Villeneuve's movies, you know, the Blade Runner 2049 and Dune, which are just slow by themselves.
So slow.
The Christopher Nolan movies, while epic and wide sweeping in the same fashion, they keep you thinking, and they're interesting and they're different. You know what I mean? So while they're long, they are groundbreaking type of movies. I mean, I know you love Man of Steel.
Yes. Yeah.
You know.
And I actually did. By the way, I loved Inception the first time.
Yeah.
I cannot watch it twice.
I watched it. I mean, it plays. I mean, it is maybe, you know, once you've had your mind broken, it's hard for it to be broken again. I mean, you can go all the way back to Memento. And he's just got a great track record. So Oppenheimer, now, if you're interested in, not everybody loves history, but if you're interested in the nuclear bomb and the atom bomb and kind of how all that happened, the story is incredibly fascinating. And to give you even more, you know, make it more interesting, you know, you've already got Emily Blunt, who's going to be in the movie.
Oh, I love her so much. Right
now, you've got Matt Damon and Robert Downey Jr. And of course, you've got Cillian Murphy, who was in the Dark Knight movies as the Sandman, I believe. He's playing J. Robert Oppenheimer.
Oh, I don't like him. His face looks like he's always on downers.
I like it. He does have a kind of an interesting face.
He's a dopey face. Like, oh, I'm really tired right now, man.
Really? That's the way I thought his face was always like too handsome or something.
He's very handsome. Well, you know what? Actually, if you stand him up against Timothy Chalamet, he looks completely normal. Because Timothy Chalamet looks like he's just like straight up on Quaaludes the whole time, dude.
Do we like just bring up stuff so that you can like flame spray them? Like, do we bring up people's names?
I thought about how that guy looks like he's tired, but he doesn't look that tired in comparison to Quaalude drugged out Timothy Chalamet, dude.
Chalamet.
Whatever his name is, I don't care.
The whole time I'm in the car, like yelling at you, it's not Chalamet.
I so desperately want to meet him so I can shove some Adderall down his throat and see what happens to his face.
Oh my God.
I just want to see if his face changes, man. He looks like he's just constantly just doped out. It's crazy.
So if you want to hear the story about how the atom bomb was made and what we had to go through, because it was the Manhattan Project. It was a major, probably one of the most major things in our country that we've ever done, as far as bringing together assets and money and everything it took to do. We've got like an all-star cast that is going to be a part of it. So
yeah, this is basically the people that invented the Great Filter, because this is why we'll never actually get to a Star Trek future, because by the time we get up there, we'll have blown ourselves up. So.
Very likely, yeah.
Yeah.
We know that it's scheduled to be out July 2023. There's still quite a bit of time. We got a year and a half before we're going to see it, but we'll keep you guys posted as things come out. We've got 4 people on the cast, and it's 4 amazing people. I mean, Robert Downey Jr. has never worked with Christopher Nolan, but of course, Matt Damon was with him in Interstellar. So,
Yeah. Okay, so we're heading over to the members section here.
dude, we rocked it. Just a little over 2 hours, 2 hours and 10 minutes today.
So I want to get my sexy voice, Shane. Hey,
Good.
everybody. Hey, how you doing? I'm Brian. And if you want to keep hearing this sexy voice and look at this sexy face and hear me mispronounce words and get really angry about celebrities that look way more handsome than I am, come on over to the Popcast main channel.
Membership.
The
channel.
members section. If you look in the description, you'll see two links. The first link says, this is only half the show, but you can watch the full show here. And if you click that link, it'll take you to this exact stream, but in the members section, where you can see the rest of this stream. And you know what? It only gets better from here, because I'll tell you why. The first half of the show, we have fun. Yeah, sure. But the second half of the show, we have more fun. And we take it real seriously because we're recording the clips that only you see until next week sometime. So come on over. Come on over to the Popcast. Click that link. You can also click on the second link. It's youtube.com/popcast/join. Or if you just don't like YouTube links, because I did figure out, by the way, how to get the correct link. It's youtube.com/thepopcast/join.
Oh, is it really?
It was really easy. I'm not sure why YouTube doesn't tell you that. They give you like this link that's like 4 pages long.
Ridiculous, yeah.
Anyways, if you don't like YouTube links, you see that? If you're looking at that, it's popcast.co/join. All that is, my friends, all that is a forwarder, and it just forwards right to our YouTube members page, okay? So come on over, get in the pickle pool and join us. We only pee a little bit, and we're going to be talking about what's next. I'm sorry about the first story. We're talking about Denny Voss, Dune 3. After that, though, we're going to be talking about Star Trek Prodigy, Matrix Resurrections, Thor, Love and Thunder. It sounds like
No. Taiki Waititi's new space movie.
Oh, sorry. Taiki Waititi's new space movie.
Which is a Dune. It was because of Dune that we're having.
Oh, God.
Because of Dune that we're getting this movie. This is so great. I can't wait.
And we're also going to be talking about Red Notice review. And here's the deal.
No, it was Colossal Bomb. Don't say nothing else.
This review. Okay, here's. It's by someone who reviewed the recent Ghostbuster movies, and I read his review last week. And it's the same person that's reviewing this right now. I cannot wait to speak about the colossal bomb that is Red Notice. Anyways, guys, listen. We're heading over there. I'm cutting the video feed off, and at some point I'm gonna cut off the audio feed as well. So if you're still listening to my voice right now, then you're in the wrong place. Come on over to the members section. Okay? I love you guys. We'll see you.
We love you guys. Appreciate you guys. If we don't see you till next week, great. Otherwise, we'll see you over at the member section. Have a great weekend.
Yeah. Hey, now that we're on the member section, I do have a video of the week real quick. Okay. Real quick. If that's cool with you.
Yeah. I mean, I do want to real quick it, but I also want to step away for just a second. So maybe you can do it while I step away for a second.
Yeah. You got to go pee?
Yep. I'll be right back.
Go pee.
Wait, I was going to not say the actual word go pee, but cool.
Hey, so while Shane is urinating, we are going to watch video of the week. This one's real good, guys. All right. Check it out. Right. Oh, there it is. right, if you didn't. All right, what happened there was that was the infamous Chevy Chase. And if you guys have ever seen hold up. Jeremy Snyder said, "Ha, I'm listening to Brian while I'm getting in the shower all soapy."
Oh God, Jeremy, don't encourage him.
Oh my God. Okay, hold up. So what you just watched was the infamous Chevy Chase. And if you've ever seen those TikTok videos where they hold up a piece of paper that they've wrote on, it's usually something like dramatic, right? Like, at 17, and they change the paper, wanted to go to school, and they keep changing the paper, right? Until they reach a final point, and it's usually something sad or dramatic or whatever. Chevy Chase did the same thing. In the first paper, right, it said, at 75, people say you start to lose your cognitive abilities. And then he kept changing the paper, but he kept changing the wrong paper.
Oh God.
All right, I guess it's funny to me. Let me guys know if it was funny to you.
Yes, it was funny.
Kenneth the Rogue said, "Every breath you take."
I'll be watching you.
Kenneth, are you here? No? Are you
No, he was at work. He was at work.
Oh man. Okay. Let's get Shane back over here.
So
it's weird. All of a sudden, we're in the members section, and you look great.
I didn't look great before. Are you no compliments?
So you stopped your torrents now? Now you're in the members section?
I don't know why you try to mirror me, man.
I'm not mirroring anything.
I don't even know what a torrent is.
Whatever, bro. You're so full of it.
Let me give you guys some advice right now. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do for you guys. All right. I said once we got to the member section,
don't drive cross country with your entire family.
Like I said, I had to drop the kids off and pick them up on the way back.
Oh, that's right.
We would have never made it, bro.
I would have never made it, bro.
No. 10 hours in the car, even with tablets and everything else going on in today's world, it would have never made it.
Nope.
But what I want to tell you is, if you guys don't already invest your money into stuff, now listen, we are not financial advisors or anything like that.
We're doctors. We're also not doctors.
I don't know what that has to do with what I'm about to say, but I'm also not a garbage man. Like I don't work for the city. But what you should do, honestly, if you're ever
no longer a gigolo.
Oh, that's kind of sad. You're make us so uncomfortable sometimes.
Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop cutting you
off. I got to tell you, if you're looking for ways to like invest your money, like for like some sort of long-term thing, because right now savings accounts are just like no good anymore. And I would tell you to do something like it. And by the way, M1 isn't like sponsoring us or anything, but I would go to like someplace like M1 Finance and do this thing where they can invest every week, like $25 a week into something. Mm-hmm. And I would pick two funds. I'd pick the VOO and the VTI. And this is basically the total stock market. That one of them is the S&P 500 ETF, and the other one is the total stock market ETF. Apparently, if you've been doing this for the past 20 years, you actually would make about 12% interest on your investment. So just something to think about.
Yeah, see, he uses that one. I use a Robinhood knockoff app called Robin in the Hood. And I send them $50 a week, and they say they're going to invest it for me. And, It's working out really great.
I opened up that company last year, so that's cool.
Robin in the Hood.
In the Hood, dude. Somebody's got to come up with that, Robin.
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to buy that domain name right now.
No, but on all seriousness, the stock market, Brian and I, we love to do investing. And honestly, I think if we were going to do another channel, it would probably be like a stock market channel because we're really into it.
Yeah. And I thought that was a great idea. And then until I realized that I would kill myself trying to edit those videos because no. I could not sit there editing an hour-long finance video. And then if you check out the tickets, it's like,
But right now, I got to tell you, the stock market would been flat all year. I mean, from like March on, it was not doing well. And in the last month, the thing is just taken off, man. I mean, everything, it seems like everything that needs to be up is up right now.
Yeah, well, to be fair, though, Roku is not. And when I bought Roku, when you told me not to buy it, I still bought it.
Right.
And it went up. I bought it at like $300 and it went up to like $500. And you were like, "Oh, we need to buy more Roku. They're only going to get bigger." And so I bought more Roku, and then it instantly dropped down to $278.
Yeah, you got to keep buying Roku because the reality is, listen, the reality is this is what people do. This is the problem. This is why you don't spend all your money. They got these people out there that'll tell you, yeah, just go out and put like $2,000 into this thing. Don't do that.
No, don't do that.
Into it. You buy into it so that you get this average. Because if you buy when it's high, you may be sitting on it forever, waiting for it to come back.
Yeah, you got to diversify. Here's the deal. I don't even have very much money in the stock market, but as of today, and it's going to close here in 10 minutes, right?
It closed 50 minutes ago.
Okay. As of the close today, I made $53. According to my portfolio.
That's good. It was a good day. You had a positive day.
Good day. I had a positive day. So like if I can only imagine if you actually had $53, I didn't do anything today but work, right?
Right.
That just happened.
You made $50, you didn't do nothing.
If you actually put a lot of money in the stock market, even if it takes you a lot of time, eventually, you don't have to work a job anymore. Like there's your job.
Yeah. Let me tell you why you want to be in Roku, Brian. Okay, just between you and me, and if you look at the analyst price target for Roku is currently sitting at $278. Okay, it has a high of $650 for analysts targeting it. The reason why, and you know this as well as anybody else, nobody can do what Roku does.
Yeah, no, Roku's top dog, and I don't think everybody totally realizes it yet.
They have no competition.
Zero.
What we're learning is that smart TVs can't really handle everything that people want them to do. Like, think about how many apps you now have to own to watch everything that you want to watch. And some of the smart TVs just simply can't handle switching back and forth through all those apps.
I don't want to get too technical here, but it's also not just the fact that the smart TVs themselves can't handle it, because you would ask, why don't they just build the same tech that Roku builds? Because wait a minute, the Roku costs $100. Build it in the TV. Well, because actually Roku is their technology, a portion of their technology is proprietary, and it's the combination of chips they use and memory and the way it's spaced and the way it's compressed on the way out. It's not just the hardware; it's also the software. There's a lot of proprietary things about Roku that makes Roku's just so blazing fast, so responsive in a little $100 package. It's absolutely phenomenal. In fact, it's so phenomenal that you actually will want to pay for all your services through Roku, because then you also, in addition, you get a one place where you can manage all your services at the same time versus 15 different streaming services. And Roku's the only company that lets you do that.
Yeah, so we'll go with. I wasn't going to use Roku this week as the stock we wanted to talk about, but we'll talk about the one I want to talk about next week. But Roku is definitely a good one to be in. Remember, we're not financial advisors. Make sure you don't ever invest your money and go like, Brian and Shane said to put our money in there. I lost it all. It'll just be us who loses it all, not you. So, anyways, I wanted to share that with you guys this week.
Yeah, boy. Okay, let's move on to the Dune. Great.
I know that you don't like talking about this, but we got to talk about it.
All right. Apparently, they're making a third Dune movie before there's even a second one. Okay, Shane.
Give us a good intro.
Okay, ready? Hey, today we're talking about Dune, Part 3 before Part 2. You say, how is that possible? Well, Denis Villeneuve is about to tell you how we're making a third Dune movie. Shane, take it away.
I think it's funny that I love how when you say these things, when you don't actually read it before, you just like read my notes.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this. So Denny Villeneuve wants to make a third Dune movie. He's not. There's been no green light. Nobody's done it, and there's actually something to be said about a third Dune movie before a second one. See, basically, what Villeneuve says is Herbert, the guy who wrote Dune, Frank Herbert, wrote 6 books, and the more he was writing, the more it was getting psychedelic. So I don't know how some of them could be adapted. I guess one thing at a time. If I ever have the chance to do Dune Part 2 and Dune Messiah, I'm blessed. So what does that mean? So Frank Herbert wrote several Dune books, right? And these movies don't exactly cover all of his books. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So because Dune is such a huge story, what he's saying is Dune 2 will Dune 1 and 2 that he's making now will cover essentially the first book of Dune.
Right.
Right. And Dune Messiah is actually that he mentions it here. It's the second in the Dune series of 6 novels. So he's talking about just like going through all of the novels. And Dune Messiah actually takes place 12 years after the events of what we just saw in Dune.
What?
So yeah, so the Dune Messiah, which would be the third movie, would take place about 12 years after the current events of Dune.
So Timothy's character will actually be a grown-up then.
Yeah, not to give any spoilers, but if you read the books, you know, he's an emperor. So
Oh, great.
So it could turn into an entire, like, perhaps if they gave him the green light to do it, if it continues making money, they could essentially have, 7 or 8 movies.
Yeah, I guess. I just don't care. I know I'm supposed to care. I know everybody else cares, and that's great.
You haven't read the books, and let's be fair. If you haven't read the books, it's impossible really to fall in love with this.
Yeah, I guess.
You have to know the story, because this first half movie that you saw is just all set up, and you don't have I almost think that you have to read the books in order to have a true love and care for what we just watched. You know what I'm saying?
But that means that it's not a good movie.
Right. Which it's not really a good movie. I mean, it's a beautiful movie. But it's not. No, I don't think it was that great. We didn't get a chance to talk about it, did we?
No, yeah, you were out, and I talked about it with with Matt Vader, and what he said was like, this was, you haven't really seen the movie yet. This is the first part of the movie, and so he's not going to judge it until he sees the entire movie.
Yeah,
but in my opinion, and maybe he's right. Yeah, I saw part 1, and that was boring and stuff. I haven't really seen the whole movie, so I can't really judge it. You're right. I get it. That's a really good point. But this was a movie. So
right.
if you took Zack Snyder's Justice League and you cut it into 2 parts and released it 2 years apart, I would have hated Justice League.
True.
Right?
I guess so. Yeah, it wouldn't have worked.
Maybe as a whole, it's great.
Well, maybe they could have cut it off somewhere. No, they could have cut it off somewhere. It's not that. It's like we talked about it, Lord of the Rings. The Fellowship of the Ring, the first movie, people saw it, did they feel the same way? Well, no, you get Gandalf's "you shall not pass" scene. And that scene is as exciting and amazing that it just kind of keeps you, Gandalf falls into the depths. Is he dead? Is he gone? What happens to our fellowship now? I mean, so there was like this, if you hadn't read the books, you still had this cliffhanger moment.
Right.
Whereas in Dune, he defeats, in the end of this first one, he defeats the guy who's like says no. I thought that was really weird too. It's like the leader of the gang was like, no, leave them alone. They're going to come with us. And the other guy's like, no, I have the right to demand I can kill him or whatever. And then, basically Paul kills him. And I was like, all right, well, and then they go off and march off and, into the future together. And so we know the next part, if you've read the books, you kind of know what's going to happen. But as a first time, viewer, you're kind of like, oh, all right.
Yeah. All right.
Why was that guy important? It's not like he defeated like a really important person.
Yeah, I guess I had to read all the books.
Right. I guess I must have read the books in order to really be able to appreciate
I must be the dumb one here because I didn't read the books. I didn't do my homework before watching this movie. My bad.
And I would argue it may be impossible to do Dune excitingly, to do a first half of Dune in an exciting way. It may be impossible.
You're the fifth person to tell me that. Every single version of Dune has been, even if people loved it, eventually it was a failure at some point because it's too hard of a story to tell.
Well, and the book is, it is a slow, methodical book that builds the story slowly.
So it should be a TV show.
Yeah, no,
right?
A TV show probably would have worked better.
Yeah, dude, hey, bro, I'm gonna take 5 seasons of Game of Thrones and make it into one 2-part 4-hour movie. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, there just wasn't enough intrigue in the book, Brian. There just isn't enough. Like in Game of Thrones, there's these constant things that happen that are like, oh my gosh, can you believe, Bran fell from the castle because he saw brother and sister having sex together, oh my God, Stark's head's been cut off.
That's right. That's why he got pushed out by Jaime.
Yeah, just like,
I remember.
Dude, it's brutal.
But I totally forgot about that. You know what's funny? Watching him, I ended up loving Jaime's character, but now I'm remembering in like the first 3 episodes, that dude is banging his sister. Some 9-year-old sees him, and he just like
flings him
absolutely like a thug. Just throws him out the window and says, "What'd I do for love of your sister, bro?"
No, there's a reason why those books are. Dune is not
good actor though. I ended up loving that character, by the way.
Right. Well, Dune is not Game of Thrones in space.
Definitely.
It's not.
So please stop saying that.
Okay, right. But it is, I get why they're saying it's like that because it's the houses and everything like that. The most exciting part of Dune, you want to know what the most exciting part of Dune was? Is when Paul gets brought into that chamber from the witch by his mom and basically has to stick his hand in that box.
Oh, yeah. That was the most exciting part.
That was the most exciting part because she's got a knife to his throat. And if he moves, she's basically going to poison him and kill him.
And the whole time, because I had not
even that was lackluster.
Yeah, I had not fully grasped what was going on. Right. So the whole time I was like, why is this like prince getting bossed around by this witch? And then why is his mom a slave? What?
There was no understanding or buildup.
There was no understanding or buildup. I had to watch the movie to understand that scene. Dude, I'm sorry, guys. It's not a good movie if you have to read all the books first, and it's not a good movie if you stopped it halfway through and didn't finish. And you know what? Maybe they shouldn't have. And the way that the way they stopped it, he meets that chick and then they stop it. Well, what did you say about Lord of the Rings? Imagine if Lord of the Rings ended right when they met Gollum. Does that make any sense?
No, you're right. And it wasn't even exciting to meet Gollum. What if it had just ended when they got to Elrond's house?
Yeah, look, dude, I understand that, it's visually beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Graphics are amazing. I understand that. And I know people already love Dune, because they've seen the old movie and they've read the books and the comic books or whatever, and they're really into it. And in their minds are like, oh my God, this is like Avengers meets Star Wars. I gotta be from a guy who hasn't read the books, who sleepily saw the first movie a long, long time ago. I tried to watch this, and I might sound and look dumb sometimes because you guys always get me at the end of these long nights. But I'm not dumb, and I understand entertainment. And when I watched that, having no previous knowledge of Dune, or very little, I didn't know what was going on. And I wasn't only half watching, I was really trying. But there are entire scenes and characters that are never introduced, but they just expect you to understand why they're there and what their purpose is. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't
Yeah.
make sense to me.
No, it's tough. And there's a lot of like the dreams and everything. And how much does that have to do with him being the son of his mom, which he has this trait that men don't typically have. So that now he's part of this prophecy potentially that he's going to come back and see people. There's a lot to it. And so here's what's interesting. One of my big complaints when they made Dune was that they didn't just film both movies. That was a huge problem for me, because I felt like it would be, they're in the mode. These people are there. They're ready. They want to keep making the movie. They're the characters. They're in the locations, but they didn't.
What?
So now they got to go back. Yeah. Now they got to go back and shoot part 2.
Yeah. It doesn't come out until 2023.
Yes. We're not getting Dune part 2 for 2 years.
Oh my God. This is so mismanaged. I can't even this is so badly, poorly managed. Even the people that love the movie right now are going to barely, I'm not even going to remember it by 2023. They're going to have to get re-excited. Oh, jeez.
So a year would have been reasonable.
Yes.
But 2 years was not necessary. And the fact that Warner Brothers needed to, can you imagine, Brian, for 1 second, if this had been it? Can you imagine if they had made it and this was, thank you, there's your Dune movie, and they decided not to make a Greenlight Part 2? Because there was a time before this movie came out that we were talking about there may not be a Part 2.
I know. Yeah.
So how do they make this movie without there being a Part 2?
Yeah, because there isn't an actual story there. There's no conclusion.
Yeah, Denis said that this movie would stand alone. It will not stand alone.
It does not stand alone. It does not stand alone.
Right?
Yeah, I don't.
I'm blown away by it. Blown away by it.
It honestly doesn't make any sense.
But I got to give him credit for this. The dude is a marketing master, because he was all over like got to make the second one. That's all we heard in the news was got to see it in the theater. Got to make a second one. Dude, now he hasn't even started filming a second one. He's like, got to make a third one. Got to make a third one. Oh, so got to give him credit. The dude, he's going to push for his projects.
Good for him. Good for him. All right, well, that's it. What do you guys think about Dune 3? Are you excited about Dune 2 in 2 years? Are you going to even remember it in 2 years? Let us know. And let me tell you, if we are just, in your opinion, obviously art is subjective, so no one can be wrong here, but if your opinion, you would totally disagree, and this was stunning and brave and
tell us why. Amazing
and cinematic and had all of the beats, I want you to ask yourself one question, or 3 questions, starting with 1. Had you already seen or read Dune? So if
read,
if you read Dune and you loved it, then we don't need an answer from you. But
no, I would like to hear that if it, I guess it would live up to expectations, but yeah.
Right. Let us know if it lived up to expectations. If you loved it and you didn't know anything about Dune walking in, please let us know why. Like, tell us.
Yeah. What did you love about it?
And listen, if you loved it, I'm glad. The people that loved it, I'm so happy that people get excitement and enjoyment out of something, even if I don't. But let me know why, if that's the case.
Yeah. What did you, tell us how you got through it? Because it was, I tweeted out, and this is a sad thing for me, is I had to watch, because I had to go on this trip last minute, I had to watch the thing on my phone in the car. So I saw it at the beginning of my trip, Brian.
Oh my gosh.
And watched it on my phone. And I was angry about the fact that I had tickets to buy it at the theater. I had to give them to my oldest son to take his friends, because I had to leave to go across the country and I couldn't go see it. So I have yet to even see the spectacle that is in the theater. But I can just give it up and say, okay, I can appreciate that moment. But the story standing alone on itself, it just wasn't enough to keep me interested.
Right. So if it was enough for you and you had no previous knowledge of Dune, let us know what that was. What did it do for you? Maybe we missed something. I don't know.
We want to hear it.
But let us know in the comment section. What?
Convince us, please.
Convince us. All right. Thanks. Okay, before we get to the next topic, Jeremy Snyder said, but Brian said to buy Doge So I buy Doge.
Good job, Jeremy.
He's referring to my multiple.
I didn't know you were telling people to buy Doge.
No, I was stumping on Facebook 'cause I'm excited that I
Oh,
bought
I
Doge
see.
at 12 cents. You know,
I see. It was one of those things.
I mean, it's still. If I even if I had forgotten about it and held it, I'm still making money. I bought it at 12 cents.
Let me tell you what I think. You guys, Doge has one more pump in it.
Right.
It's got one more big run. It may happen next month. It may happen in 5 years when Elon Musk decides he wants to run it. It will run one more time. And I'll say if you're holding Doge right now and it does run again, then sell it then.
Well, it's also when in the next few months, a lot of people bought Doge on Robinhood, and they're going to be getting their wallets, and that's going to change a lot of things for Doge.
That will change too, yeah.
But listen, man, if you bought Doge, I hope you bought it.
We're holding it too, buddy. We're holding it too.
Yeah, we're holding. How many Doge? I got 1,000 Doge right now.
You got 1,000 Doge.
Yeah, I had a lot more, but I sold it at 60 cents. All right.
Gotta do.
All right, we're getting to the next topic. Let's talk about Star Trek Prodigy. Did Star Trek Prodigy just retcon a major detail from Star Trek Discovery? Here, spoiler alert. It wouldn't be hard to do because almost the entirety of Discovery is a retcon. But please tell me, Shane, what is happening?